from 5 to 7. So if you look at that, 5 to 7, it means if that one is changed, it will change the dynamics of the term limit for presidents and including even the legislatures. What is your take on that?
Yes, thank you for hosting us this morning. And let me tell you one thing, Brother Benson. If there's something that can never happen in Kenya, is changing the term limit. If that one they think they can try, let them try. We are going to meet with the people. The people, the people. At that time, it will not be time for elections. That time, it will be time of war. If they want war, they can try that. Kenya is not a banana republic. We are not going to let it go to become a banana republic. That when you want to rule, we can put you president for life.
Okay.
So, as that said and done, I think what he's feeling is feeling the joy of winning by-elections in Bereno. That the joy is with him, and it cannot. It's okay. It's fine for him to celebrate, but starting to talk about things like that is a fallacy that I've never heard. The Constitution is very clear because we are not led. We are not led by the government alone or the president. We have a constitution that should be followed.
Okay.
So that one is as easy as that.
All right, thank you so much for that. And maybe you can give your take, especially the reaction of Kimani Ichung'wah and Wamatangi. You saw that Kimani Ichung'wah was really booed and heckled in the presence of the president. And Kimani Wamatangi seems to be enjoying the support of the people of Kiambu.
Yeah, just as you were talking about Bereno yesterday and saying that you are shocked to see schools which are built of matope. That is what you were saying yesterday. The same is vice versa in Kiambu. You know, I was in some debates and some people were saying that Kikuyus have been for so much time holding Bere people and Embu people and Meru people at hostage. But what I thought about, why is the system working even right now? We don't have a president, Kikuyu president, because you can find Wamatangi, the schools that he has built, IECDE schools. I've seen them because those are things I've seen, and he's still building new ones. Why is he being celebrated by his people like that? Because he's working. He's working and he has done work for his people. That's why people are celebrating him. So just go and ask the other governor who is still saying that they need development from the government, what he has been doing for them. Because we have seen clearly it's very bad since having a polling station which is of mud. Where in this 21st century, I think this one should be a policy of kitambo sana atiko na classrooms. Watu wanavotia kwa classrooms za matope. This one is something that should have ended, I don't know which year ago, but it's sad that it is still happening in some counties. And I'm very happy that Wamatangi is doing a stride and is working for his people, because I've seen some of the ECD classrooms that he's building and how he has done innovations in certain schools. So it can be celebrated. But Kimani also does work in his constituency, but the problem is politics. His politics is the one people don't like. That's why he's jeered all the time.
All right, let me take this opportunity also to welcome my brother Mzalendo, who has just joined us right now. Mzalendo, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, brother Ben. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you well, my brother. How have wiki yako imekuwa aje, baba?
No, I mean, we were here yesterday, I think, and the week has been okay. I think we've celebrated Thanksgiving with friends and family around, and I can't complain. We thank God for each and every day. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And we want to have a conversation because this is usually the meet the press. We tend to condense everything that happened in a week, maybe in a 1 hour or 2 hours or so if we extend. And we want to focus especially on the by-election that has just ended. We want to look at who are the winners and who are the losers. And also we want to know your perspective, both of you, the absence of the youths. And that is something that was really in the public domain. And Zalendo, will start with you because like we want to go to the Oma Bay County. I want you to give us maybe the Oma Bay County. It was between Wanga and Oyugi Magwanga. If you look at what happened in Homa Bay, who are the big winners and who are the losers in this?
I Okay, thank you very much, brother Ben. And sorry, I didn't say hi to Joseph here, my brother.
Yeah,
Hi,
good
Joseph.
morning, Zalendo. I'm very sorry your candidate, Aliona Dust.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And that is why we are here to analyze and dig deep to see what really happened in Kasipul. And I want to say hi to all the viewers who are watching this particular show. I'm Jambo. Good morning, wherever you are. Good night, where I am here.
Mhm.
Uh, it's a early morning. It's past midnight.
Yep.
So yes, Oma Bay elections. We were watching it very very cleanly, very very closely.
Mhm.
I had a candidate of my choice who was Philip Barocco. Aroko got 8,000 votes, 8,476 votes. And the winner, congratulations to Boyd Were of ODM, who got 16,000 votes in that election. But my observation is very, very clear. And one is that these elections have become very, very expensive for ODM and the governor herself. I think the kind of investment is almost half a billion or less, maybe 300 million, just to win that particular seat. It tells you a lot. And now this is ODM home ground. It is not where they need to struggle to win in that particular constituency. That tells you that the people are not very, very happy with the candidates that the ODM party normally gives them. Remember,
Okay.
this is an heredity case where the late Ongondowere, who is the father of now uh, the MP elect Boyd Were, was assassinated, and ODM gave Boyd Were. I would assume it was a direct nomination because in the by-election, uh, the guy in the nominations he got 18,000 votes, and in the general election he got 16,000 votes. I can tell you that the nomination definitely was rigged, and
Mhm.
this election was marred with a lot of violence, and its credibility is still being questioned. The
Mhm.
campaign and the polling period in Kasipul was marred by violence.
Mhm.
There were arrests, there were weapons seized, machetes, pangas, knives, high profile incidences in that particular constituency where even the MP for Homa Bay Kaluma was assaulted, and he came on air saying that he was assaulted by Aroko goons. So, as a chief agent in a polling station, being assaulted, that's a serious offense. Now, despite the tension and violence in that particular poll, ODM won, and Boyd Were carried the day. Now, my interpretation of this particular election is that uh, first, it lacks credibility.
Mhm.
One, you the governor was out there saying that she used a lot of money
Yep.
to campaign to voters and to and to bribe. And she said it in public, that we had to use a lot of money to give the voters. So first of all, there was incidents of bribery, and
Yeah.
secondly, there were offenses committed, and IBC fined the two candidates each 1 million. That is also to show you that the IBC acknowledged that there were election malpractices in
Mhm.
Kasipul, and therefore they had to fine the candidates. Any other person can go to court and claim that these elections were not free and fair. Uh, Even IBC itself admitted by giving the two candidates a fine. So that surely tells you that there was no credibility. There was a lot of manipulations in these polls, and
Mhm.
therefore, being just a by-elections, what does it tell you of the general elections, which is coming in 2027? I
Oh.
think the kind of investment put by the candidates and the governor
Mhm.
that is not worth it. For once, we hope that the people will be given a chance without coercion to vote for the person they want and without intimidation. Otherwise, that is my observation.
Okay, so that is your observation. But before I bring in Joseph, we were looking at when you look at Homa Bay, because we want to deal with Homa Bay and go to another county. We are looking at the players in that rally or that election. We have Governor Wanga, we have DIG, not DIG, but we have DG, that is the deputy governor. We have Aroko and we have Boyd Were too. So, in your observation, now when we want to look at who are the winners, especially like now, we see like Gladys Wanga, for instance. Do you think our political portfolio has really risen in Homa Bay County? Because that seat has been delivered courtesy of her hard work and the money that she claims she has used, especially in the campaign.
No, no, Brother Ben, this is an ODM stronghold. And
Mm-hmm.
the person they were contesting again is also a member of ODM. He just left ODM because he was not going to be given the ticket. It's
Mm-hmm.
like Gormaya playing against Gormaya in a soccer match, and the team that wins are both Gormaya players, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't see the kind of investment that was put in this election. For Gladys Wanga, this was a do or die because one, uh, she has to prove a point. There's a lot of speculations that Ruto might elevate her status to be the running mate in 2027, which is
Mm-hmm.
not there. It's a fallacy that is being sold to the locals to an extent that they are believing that that can happen. With what
Mm-hmm.
happened in Mbere, I don't think that there is a possibility of that. Having said that, yes, Gladys Wanga now comes back stronger than before, without Baba, and she can claim that she's the one who secured the victory for Boyd Were, which is a fact. Without Gladys Wanga, Boyd Were would not have won the election. In the
Yeah.
absence of the machinery put by ODM to win that particular constituency, Boyd Were would have not won. He had not. He didn't have. He didn't have the knowledge of the constituency. He didn't have
Mm-hmm.
the language to talk to the voters, and what elevated him generally is the presence of the ODM members of parliament,
All right.
Millie Odhiambo, Kaluma, and now the governor. And I think a lot of resources was also put into that campaign in order to
Okay.
stop Aroko Otete. But you see, Aroko gave a good fight. Without the resources, he doesn't control the county government. He doesn't control the goons. And again, you could see the number of goons that were deployed in that constituency for intimidation. So these elections, they lack legitimacy, it, and they should be condemned by each and everybody who is looking at a fair and free Kenyan poll.
All right.
Everywhere there was violence. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I'm still because like it's something that we are going to finish with. I will invite Joseph because I think you listened to Governor Wanga's speech, especially today when he said that how she fought hard to find this government, and is this somebody that is not working together with him? I may not paraphrase what she said correctly, but this was a target that was going to the deputy governor Oyugi Magwanga. And he was saying that if you feel that this government is not doing right, you should resign. Does that one mean that Oyugi Magwanga has been put on notice with Wanga, and maybe she can influence impeachment of Oyugi Magwanga, just in case anything in politics is possible?
Hmm? Uh, do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, you need to understand how Magwanga became the deputy of Gladys Wanga. Gladys Wanga lied there that she picked Magwanga. No, Gladys Wanga at no point did she pick Magwanga as a deputy. That was done courtesy of Raila Odinga, who told Magwanga to step aside and not run for the race. You understand? So Mangwanga was supposed to run for in the gubernatorial race, so he stepped down and supported Gladys Wanga. And the reason is one: Mangwanga comes from the Greater Kachwanyo, that is Karachuonyo area. That is the biggest voting block in Homa Bay, and he was seen as an hindrance as had he contested in that poll in 2022. Gladys
Yeah.
Wanga would have not been the governor. Somebody else would have been the governor because the votes would have been divided. So for her to come back and say that Magwanga did not play any role in our
Mhm.
victory, that's a big lie to the people of Homa Bay, and she knows it very, very well that without Magwanga, she would not be governor today in Homa Bay. Those are facts. Those are facts. She would
All
not
right.
be the governor.
Okay, I agree with you 100% because if you look at the Homa Bay, the governorship of Homa Bay, especially, this was a negotiated. I remember when people were campaigning at some point, the contenders, all of them were called by the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, and the few in the Kidero wing who declined not to attend the meeting just because they knew what was going to happen. People like Magwanga, due to their influence that they had. Because remember when Magwanga ran against Aweti, you know, he he gave them.
Yeah, yeah. I can also add that you see, Dr. Evans Kidero was again persuaded by the late Raila Odinga to step aside for Gladys Wanga because she was the right choice for the ODM or the ODM party, but Kidero defied the late prime minister and told the prime minister that he will go for it. He doesn't
Yeah.
need ODM, so he went independent. I was there. I was in the middle of everything, and I saw even what they were exchanging. So it tells you that Gladys Wanga, first of all, did not win any nominations. She was given the ticket on a platter. These are the candidates who have been benefiting from Raila Odinga for a very long time, and
Yeah.
those are the facts. Those are the facts.
Okay, let me just invite Joseph because Joseph, I don't know whether you have quite much knowledge about Homa Bay, but you can, from what or from the public literature that people are saying about Homa Bay, maybe if you look at it, who are the big losers and who are the big winners?
Yes, thank you, Brother Benson. I tend to think that the deputy governor Magwanga has power, because if he did not have power, you could be hearing them bashing him out left, right, and center. But you don't see that. You
Yeah.
just heard of a statement. They are fighting Sifuna so much. If you have seen Sifuna, Sifuna is one guy who is being fought so much in
Mhm.
the in ODM, even for the by-election that happened in Kariobangi. I was telling Mzalendo, see about. I was not talking about Philip Paroko. I was talking about your candidate in Kariobangi, the one Oush. That is the one I
I,
was telling you. Sikuwa naongea
no,
kuhusu Homa Bay.
no, but do you remember, Jose, what I had told you about Kariobangi? Can you remember exact things that I said about Kariobangi before the polls?
Yeah, I remember. I remember when you told me that it will be. And we analyzed that thing with you, and we analyzed when we talked about DCP and UDA entering in the race. You told me hiyo Ush itakuwa noma sana kwake. And I think one thing that helped DCP candidate in Kariobangi, as I go back to Homa Bay, was the unity between Irungu Nyakera and this other guy Kakuya and Benjadonk. It really boosted the DCP candidate to take that seat. I
No,
really
no.
think that.
One thing. Let me just correct you because I've been in Nairobi politics for a very long time. Uh, Oush was somebody we were with him in FKF politics for quite some time, and he has got his negatives that maybe other people oversaw. That when you have been in politics and you've been losing elections, especially the nominations in ODM, then you don't become a popular candidate when you come back when the party has given you a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would have gone for somebody who is new, who has not been involved in politics, and that is somebody who would have taken head on the DCP candidate. They didn't actually look at the terrain. They were looking at the treble merits of Oush vis-a-vis the area that is going to represent, which is very, very cosmopolitan. When you go to Kariobangi, you'll find quite a sizable amount of Kikuyus in that area. You'll find other tribes in that particular area. So that area is very, very cosmopolitan. And that also tells you of what you will expect in Nairobi elections. And kudos to one Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna. Edwin Sufuna have not been really involved in this politics as much. The person who should be blamed for the loss of Owush in Kariobangi is the chairman of ODM Nairobi, who is Georgia Ladwa. So Georgia Ladwa did not consolidate the votes, the Luya votes, or the ODM votes per se in Kariobangi, and they did not give the financial backing the way they backed candidates like Boyd Were and the way they used the resources for the party in Magarini. So if they had used the same resources, probably they would have gotten a different results or outcome. You would see the kind of campaigns that were being held in Kariobangi for this guy who is not a popular candidate when he was given an opportunity to say what he's going to do for the people of Kariobangi, he had absolutely nothing to say. So some of these candidates for who are vying on ODM ticket, literally they have got no connection with the people. Or even if they had connection with the people, they lost the connection, and the party did not realize that they have lost connections.
But brother Mzalendo, did you tell your candidate not to buy, because you could have told him to save some money?
No, no, no.
Si vizuri
Joseph,
kukosa kumwambia heads up.
wacha nikwambie hii siasa if it is you see the adrenaline that drives you to come and comment and contribute to your country. It's the same adrenaline that drives the politicians to go into politics. It is something that you can't stop them. Even when they know that you are losing, they will not be, they'll not agree that they are losing, even if they don't have the numbers. Even if the wife, he knows literally she's not going to vote for him, they will still go ahead and uh, and participate in the process. So sometimes you let people wajikarange na inaitwaje,
Mafuta yao.
wajikarange. Yeah.
Kuwa rafiki mzuri lakini ni
Okay.
sawa, nitakubaliana na wewe ukimwambia
Okay.
wajikarange na mafuta yake.
Okay. Okay. Joseph, are you done with Homa Bay?
No, I'm not done. I was waiting for, do you know, I brought in Zalendo for Kariobangi. We forgot. Now that is what I was telling you, Brother Beso. But what we have seen in Homa Bay is nepotism. You know, we have not seen any free fair. You know, the problem is when ODM says that they want a candidate, that is who is going to be brought in as a candidate. Whether there will be nominations, those nominations will be sham. There will be not kind of nomination. So I think so much ODM is in very good readers, because if the process was very free and fair, I think it could have been very flawless. Even they could not be arguing. Mzalendo has put it very well that it is ODM who was fighting ODM in Homa Bay, because that Philip Paroko came in with as an independent. No? So it's like they were fighting, and these things have been seen all everywhere. At Ugenya, you see Ugenya, this MP called, his name is, I always forget his name, the Ugenya MP. When he came in, he came in as an independent candidate.
David Ochieng?
With MDG. No, not independent, with MDG party. David Ochieng. And you see, he was fighting Raila so much at the first, because, you know, when they went for the nominations, I think they were full of sham and corruption that and bribery that even I don't know if you can say that they were full of corruption, but maybe you were won fair and square. But most of of these nominations have been shameful. You can see them even when the men in black entered in Bomas. You can really tell that it has not been very, very, very transparent. So I think Wanga used some money, and he used some of his influence to get that seat, and she got it. She got it. So I can say she now has some muscles to flex. She's flexed some muscles within her.
Okay, before we leave, this is my observation in Homa Bay. I would say that the biggest loser in Homa Bay, when we are looking at the by-election, is the Mzalendo. I know sometimes you may not agree with me, but I would say the deputy governor. The reason why I'm saying that is the biggest loser is that he came out quite much late. You know, he did not declare his support early enough so that can energize the people to go and vote Aroko. Remember, he really joined Aroko at the tail end, and we know he usually comes from a larger, he has an influence in Homa Bay County. So if he could have declared this support early enough, the result could have changed. That is one. The biggest winner, I would say, is Governor Wanga and Aroko. And the reason why I'm saying Aroko is the biggest winner, remember, Aroko has always been contesting or has been vying for this seat through nomination, and he has been losing. But this time round, he got the courage to face it. So what happens with Aroko, if he's intending to run for that, that constituency again, he has now learned so many things, especially running for an election whereby he's being presided over by IEBC in terms of his areas of weaknesses, in terms of his strength. Now he knows, because if he could have gone through nomination, he could have not been on the ballot, but now he has been on the ballot. And by pulling that number against all odds, by pulling that number, the votes that he got, especially, and, with the machineries that were put in place, I think Aroko did a good job. But for Wanga, is good for her, because now she will speak with authority in Homa Bay. She will speak with authority, especially when it comes to any functions of ODM. You even saw it Mzalendo when she was given an opportunity to speak. She was speaking with that authority and finality, and she wants to confirm again that I'm the uh, party chair lady, national party chair lady. So to me, those are the winners.
You're absolutely right when you say that Wanga is now speaking with authority. But you're absolutely wrong when you say that Magwanga is a loser. Magwanga is not a loser. Magwanga is only speaking the truth and saying what he feels it should be done right in in the party, and that voice is the same voice that is what Sifuna is saying, is what Hamisi is saying, is what
Mhm.
Babu Owino is saying, is what many other silent voices in ODM are saying. There are cracks within the party. They still don't believe in the candidate that was nominated to be the ODM flag bearer, and they feel that the candidate was an embarrassment to the party. Had they done a free and fair nomination, then probably there would not be this kind of fightings that you saw in Kasipul. So one thing is that the party cannot do a free and fair nomination, and secondly, that the party has to use a lot of resources to win in a by-election where they needed not to use so much resources, so much energy, and then
Okay.
come out against stamping, because that is your home ground. It is
Mhm.
like a football match you are playing at home, and
Yes.
you have got the home ground advantage. You have got the referee on your side. You have got the fans on your side, but you still want to bribe the fans. You
Oh,
understand, to win the
yes.
match.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
yeah.
understand it, but now flip the coin, and flip the coin. I want you to flip the coin. If today,
Yes.
um, Aroko could have won, and Magwanga was on his side, what could have been the story of the day?
Now this opens up opens up a debate of democracy. This is
Mhm.
opens up the debate of legitimacy. This is
Mhm.
opens up the debates of corruption within the ODM party when it comes to nominations.
Yeah.
Now, this is now the time they would have addressed the nomination process. Had Aroko won, they would have now come to address the nomination process in ODM. But right now, the way it stands is that they will still continue to issue the certificates to the candidates that they feel is more friendly, either to the
Mhm.
governor or aligned to the governor, especially in Noma Bay. If you are not aligned to the governor today, if you didn't participate in the by-elections in Kasipul,
Mhm.
you are going to face a lot of problems if the governor, like it has always been, the governor is the one who is going to issue the certificates to candidates of ODM to participate in the general election. So
All right.
my take, and this is very very important for the aspirants who feel that they need to participate in the 2027 elections. If you are not
Mhm.
aligned to Gladys Wanga
Mhm.
X,
Yes.
don't
Okay.
even bother. First of all, you need to just to look for an alternative vehicle,
Mhm.
and you must have resources for
No.
goons, one,
Mhm.
resources for goons,
Two.
resources for what do we call them, to bribe the voters called the Gonya
Mhm.
community, the
Mhm.
people who are going to line up. You must
Mhm.
have that kind of money. And again, at the end of it all,
Mhm.
what really matters is that your presence must be felt on the ground. Don't campaign on social media alone. Make sure that you are on the ground. So by and large, Ben, what I'm seeing is that for you to contest in an MP position in Luo Nyanza,
Yeah.
the budget is between 200 million to 300 million for somebody who is coming in.
Okay.
If you don't have that kind of money, wewe sahau.
Okay, asante. Mimi sina, ndio maana nakwambia mimi sijakuwa nawaza ama
Ni wezi tu ndio wako na hiyo pesa.
mimi
Wale wanaiba pesa ya CDF na wale wale wako wanaitwa watch sijui nani. Hakuna biashara itakupatia hiyo pesa, na bado ukishinda ukae kujua kama umetoka nje na ushinde, uwe na bahati ushinde, utarudi utaingia pale na uzidi kuiba ile pesa ya CDF kurecover ile pesa yako. What will happen to Lloyd Were at hiyo first term yake? Si ataapishwa hii wiki ama next week? Akiapishwa bunge, akiapishwa hivi, pesa ya CDF ile inaingia, atapatiwa invoice. Hey boss, hiyo ndio invoice ya tulitumia hao 200 million and we want it back. Yeah, we help you and we want it back.
And maybe if you do your math well, if you're saying that was the money that was used, look at what the MPs earn, maybe or the monthly salary, and you multiply with the number of months, which is a year and a half, if I'm not wrong, that is going to be in parliament, you will find that the money that he has used in campaign is quite much higher than what is going to earn. And now even to at least to do those promises or to deliver those promises that he made during the campaign might be
no,
hint.
yeah, Ben, you are very, very wrong. And don't look at what MPs earn. Look at what comes with government. What comes when you're in government comes with contracts. That is one thing, that connection to get contracts, to get deals that you can't get, me and you. What comes with government is now that the CDF is in the constitution, they are in charge of that money. That is why they line up your children, they line up your mothers to give them some bursary there, and they come chest up. Look at the way the MPs brag. Have you ever seen the way they chest stamp that they own this thing? But when it comes to elections, have you seen the way they beg?
Yes. Okay.
Even if they are not Legio Maria, the way if you are not Legio Maria, you will go to got Cuero in Migori, barefoot. You will find a Mzalendo going barefoot there in Got Cuero. Somebody, so long as you can be seen as somebody who is religious, you now need the votes for the Legio community. Then you have to do the way what they do. You go to Catholic, hata hujawahi kula divine, utakunywa hiyo divine. Unaenda msikiti, hujawahi kanyaga, utakanyaga hiyo msikiti. Unaambiwa uingie kwa shrine, ushike nyoka na uongeleshe nyoka, uipatie uji, utaipatia. Mi nakwambia, it is crazy what these MPs go through to become members of parliament. Some of them unasikia wanashinda huko Tanzania. Haujasikia hiyo?
Ama wanaenda kwa Loliondo kwa babu.
Watu wengine kwao kwa nyumba lazima watoke na mgongo, watoke hata na kichwa.
Sasa hiyo unajua mimi hapo sasa siwezani nayo. Okay, sawa sawa.
Nakwambia ukiingia kwa hii siasa
huwezi na mambo ya MP.
Naambiaga watu ukiingia kwa hii siasa kuna vitu mbili. Unaweza ambia watoto wako kwa heri, unaweza ambia rafiki zako hutakuona tena. Unaweza ambia mali ile, yani yote ile iko nayo inaweza isha. Wewe hapo Nairobi, wacha nimalize bwana Ben, wacha kunikatiza. Huko Nairobi kuna jamaa alikuwa anagombea kiti ya ubunge. Siku hizi anatembea na mishipi, ameweka kamba. Unaona kamba uzi, hawezi nunua mkanda, mshipi anaweka, anafunga kamba. Jamaa alikuwa na petrol station, alikuwa na manyumba, alikuwa na nini. Alitafuta hii kiti ya mbunge mpaka hakuwaipata. Ona. So hii kitu inapeleka wabunge wengi into depression. Angalia marehemu huyu alikuwa anaandikia Moi speech, alikuwa anaitwaje? Profesa Umamuga.
Profesa Umamuga alikuwa anatoka county gani? Is it
Profesa
Homa Bay?
Umamuga anatoka Homa Bay, Rangwe constituency.
Yeah, I think Rangi constituency.
It's not a matter of thinking, that is where she comes from. Profesa
And is
Umamuga alikuwa anatoka Homa Bay na mwishowe ukimwona alikufa maskini maoe haye.
Was it the same professor who said that Raila will not be the president?
Of course, many of them have said that Raila will not be the president. These guys have been there for a while. They know the politics.
Okay, nimesikia. All right, thank you so much, Mzalendo and Joseph. Now we are done with Homa Bay. And now let's go to another county, especially where we want to look at who are the big losers and the big winners. Now we are going to Western, and when we go to Western, we have here Mr. Malala Natembea, we have Bonnie Alwale, we have Moses Masika Wetangula, and we have CS Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. And if you look at what happened in Malava, and you look at these two gentlemen, especially, let's start with the wing of Natembea, Malala, and Natembea, Malala, and Eugene Wamalwa, let's say, what they did, especially how they conducted these by-elections, the effort they put in place, and the outcome in the result. To start with you, Joseph, how can you maybe classify, or how can you give your view, especially when it comes to the wing of Malala Natembea and Bonnie Halwale?
Yes, thank you. We all witnessed what happened in Malava. Malava was, the by-election was mad with the skirmishes, voter bribery, and even, as we can say, goonism. Yeah? And I think what we can talk about winners and losers. I think the team of Malala has proven a point that it is there and it is becoming dangerous. And it is becoming dangerous for Musalia Mudavadi and his company. You know, now Musalia Mudavadi does not have a party. His party in UDA, he does not have his own party, so he's under the umbrella. So I think the main winners here, I can say that Musalia Mudavadi got the seat, but how did he get the seat? What did it take for him to get the seat? And Natembea comes from Trans Nzoia County, and he came to Kakamega. And he has been having inroads, even though he was supported by only Malala and the other guy, Nanibuni Halwale. So I think they have a measure of themselves now. They can see if they were won by only 2,000 votes. I've clearly seen that they can be able to give a run for the money for these guys, Moses Musalia Mudavadi. They can give him a run for his money in Western. So I think the Natembea team is okay. They tried and they got some votes. It was equally like a 50-50 race. But Musalia Mudavadi needs to rethink, because if this is his own backyard and is getting too much problem in getting the votes of winning this one in a landslide. You know, in Homa Bay we can say it was quite a clean sheet. But in Malava, he needs to rethink about it. He needs to rethink about it, because the way this force is coming, Natembea force is coming, is not an easy force.
All right, thank you. And now we want to look at when you look at especially the Natembea with the Tawe movement coming to Malava and winning that seat with that smaller margin. And you know, when you look at the history of Malava, even during the time when Shoita Shitanda, I think, was running in that constituency, that has always been the the results whereby somebody who is winning usually does not win with such a larger margin. But now we are seeing young people, especially Natembea and Malala and Boni Alwale, who are coming and putting up that spirited fight despite um, the mobilization and the money that was poured by the government, and they can still put on that spirited fight. What does this one tell you? Maybe Mzalendo, before I invite Joseph with another question. When you look at um, um, the three, I mean. Unmute, please.
You are talking about Malava constituency.
We are in Western right now. Yes.
Yeah. You see, Malava, the by-election in Malava. First of all, we need to understand that it was triggered by the death of Malulu Ijendi. What does that tell you? When somebody dies, just the same way in Kasipul, then there is some kind of sympathy that also follows with it. All right, that the society, Africans, the way they look at things is that they want to give back. Yeah. So a UDA's candidate, David Ndakwa, and Deep and the Democratic Action Party of Kenya candidate Seth Panyako. Seth Panyako was viewed as a very, very popular candidate compared to Ndakwa. And you can see with the margins that happened in that particular poll. Ndakwa won the elections with uh, 1,354 votes only. And the other guy, Panyako, got 20,210 votes, and Ndakwa got 21,500 and something votes. So this election was closely contested, and you look at again the violence in this election. If IBC were to follow the constitution, some of these by-elections, the way the violence that was muted to the participants, that is good reason enough to cancel the polls in those constituencies. Now, how does this result reflect in the coming general election or in the formation of the Western Alliance? Remember, we barely saw Wetangula and Mudavadi campaigning for their candidates. The person who delivered this victory is Farouk Kibet, who was in Western most of the time, giving out empowerment and money
Mhm.
for the community. This is basically Farouk was out there bribing the constituents throughout uh, the the by-election campaign period. Panyako has come out clearly, and you saw it that there was a lot of bribery, voter bribery, manipulations at the tallying center, and they claim that they won in 134 polling stations out of 198 polling stations.
Yeah.
Now, 54 polling stations is what decided the winner in Malava. 54.
Mhm. 54.
Yeah, 54. Now, this brings back the question of legitimacy in these particular polls.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 134 people who participated in the polls feel cheated. And that is why, if you go to Mbere, the UDA offices were burnt. If
Mm-hmm.
you go to Malava, the community there will not see Ndakwa as their choice or as their representative. So this election, this tension will go on until the general elections.
Mm-hmm.
How they are going to bring the community together, it is up to the Western leaders or
Mm-hmm.
the constituents to come together and now the elect MP to try and bring the people of who supported Panyako back to his camp. How he's going to do it? He has got the time, 1 year to do it. Now, remember, DAP is just a party that was formed the other day by Eugene Wamalwa. For them to push these candidates to the edge like this, it shows you that ODM and UDA combined, you know this. Ndakwa represents ODM and UDA combined forces, yeah, and resources. They could only beat a DAP candidate by 1,000 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Only you look at and this, if this is going to replicate in all the constituencies in Kenya, I can tell you there will be no much effort in the general elections
Mm-hmm.
put by UDA or ODM in some of these constituencies. Some of these constituencies will be flipped. This is one of the constituencies that in 2027 can go to DAP Kenya if they remain consistent, if they remain in, if they continue doing the kind of mobilization that they have been doing, if they continue selling the agenda of Luya
Mm-hmm.
unity to the community. Luya is a toss up, it can go either way. If the oppositions are very, very keen in winning or beating Ruto in 2027, then they must consolidate to Western.
Mm-hmm.
They must consolidate to Western. Nairobi, I think Nairobi is gone. Nairobi will go to the opposition. Nairobi, the ruling coalition will not win. Yeah.
So, before I bring in Joseph, despite all that, the legitimacy and everything that we saw, and now we are looking at the results with the big players who are on the forefront, especially to mention, we have Farouk Kibet, as you have mentioned, we have Natembea and Malala. Do you see some liberation coming along the way, change of leadership or change of voices, especially that being coming with the Natembea and Malala, or these are just voices that are going to be short-lived and um, Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula will still control the areas that they are controlling, or what do you see? Are you seeing any change coming along the way? And can you say that they did a good job? They are winners, even though they did not win the real seat, but what they did actually can be seen. The effect can be seen.
You know, I see people saying that it was a win, but what I would tell the government, they need to think about that, because you know, in 2022 they need to check how many of the votes that came from that region, and we always say that Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula are the ones who tilted the win for Ruto
Actually, it was
in 2022.
it was Wetangula.
Yeah, Wetangula, but you know, there is also some votes which came from there. Like if you have an MP from Malava, you can. And so even if we say Mwetangula, Brother Benson, we are talking about Western as a whole. What happened to Wetangula in Kabuchai? It is very shocking. They are supposed to be now be thinking about how they are going to counter the united opposition, because if Kabuchai can be taken like that from Wetangula need to sit down and strategize and ask himself what really went wrong, and or are the people sleeping out of my hands, or what will happen in the near future? Because I see a tendency of where this they are young men, people like Natembea, Malala, and Boni Arwale, a bit his time has gone, is a bit older, but these two men, and they are very young, and they can be able to campaign vigorously than the way Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi can. Another thing is Musalia Mudavadi, he's a government official. So most of the time he cannot be able to go to these campaigns more like the way the Natembea and the likes of Akina Malala can do it. These by-elections, I like them because all the machinery was being used in this by-election, all of it. All the machinery was being used, all the money, everything was being used in this by-election. So what will happen in 2027 when somebody is being told campaign and do the campaign by your fans and do the campaign? Sometimes even these candidates, these big candidates, they don't even come to offer you assistance. Sometimes they only come one time, they do campaign for you, then the other time they are everywhere. So what will happen in 2027 when you don't have the full backing of the resources that were given on 27th of November? I think it will be a really worrisome game if that will be like that.
Okay.
But Ndakwa won, even if there was skirmishes and if there was voter bribery, he has the certificate. Now his people strategize. The united opposition need to strategize and know where they went wrong. If it is in terms of Goonism, if it was Goonism being used, they also need to also secure themselves. Hata wapate Goonism, because I've seen the kind of politics that is being played in Kenya. You need to have goons. So I think everybody now will be having Goonism so that they can do this, because I've clearly seen the police will not help you and will not protect you when there is Goonism. So even you need to arm yourself with goons so that if it is Omano Kamano, whatever goes.
Okay, and let me. There's this something that our good friend Laban is saying at Brother Benson, brother Joseph Wetangula. Sorry, at Brother Joseph. Wetangula is the Speaker of the National Assembly, but not active in local politics. The law does not require him to do that, but he has violated that law for far too long.
But Laban is lying to us. We saw Wetangula campaigning.
Actually,
what was he doing? We saw him campaigning.
He was in that ward some few days before the election, and he campaigned. And Wetangula has always campaigned and involved himself in active politics. So many times we've seen him in the empowerment forums with the president, which he should not be involving himself. So Labani has always been campaigning. Okay, maybe Mzalendo, when you look at Boni Aluale, who is a member of UDA, and who is also the minority in the Senate, the whip in the Senate, I think so, and is campaigning against against the administration or against his party leader, and he continued to hammer, even questioning some of the policies that are being given by the government. Do you see him maintaining that seat, or he has to be kicked out from those seats of UDA, especially in the Senate? Unmute, please.
Sorry, brother man. I saw a clip of Bonnie complaining publicly about his security being withdrawn, uh, and I was like, this guy. First of all, my beef with him is that he has got 6 policemen who are guarding him, and all those other senators have got security that have been assigned to them.
Yeah.
Uh, in the U.S., unless you are a leader in the Senate,
Mhm.
is when you get at least one bodyguard assigned to you, but you don't get 6 policemen assigned to a senator in Kenya. I felt that that is very very wrong. That is the misuse of our police forces. They need to be protecting Kenyan citizen instead of protecting these legislators throughout where they are going. 6 of them is just too much. They don't even
Mhm.
need one, because if Benham, you and I don't have security, then the legislators need not to have any security. They need to
Mhm.
feel the pain. They need to be robbed. They need to be carjacked so that they can improve the security in Kenya. Until that happens to them, they will not know how the common mwananchi feels about insecurity. Now, the
Do you think,
consequences.
well, let me
Hmm?
ask you, let me ask you, Mzalendo, do you think the security that the politicians are complaining about, they are complaining about it because they are scared of the voters, or they are scared of their political uh, rivalry between them?
No, the security gives them a kind of power, a kind of protection, that
Mhm.
they are invisible. All right, they
Yeah.
cannot be armed. Not like you. You
Mm.
understand.
Yeah.
A politician, wherever he goes, even if he decides to walk in the dark naked, he knows that there are 6 policemen who are around him. All right, you decide to do that, you will see what will happen to you. All right. So
Uh,
those are some of the things that they look at. Now, what are
mhm.
the consequences of from UDA? Will he lose the Senate leadership role because of his move to support a different candidate? Let me tell you, William Ruto is very very smart. Is too smart for that kind of move.
Mhm.
He doesn't want to open a lot of war fronts, all right?
Mhm.
Unlike ODM on the other side, they're opening a war with Sifuna. UDA leadership under William Ruto is very, very strategic, all right?
Mhm.
So when you expel or you frustrate Boni Luale, and remember Boni Luale is eyeing for the gubernatorial race in Kakamega, and the
Mhm.
reason why he was supporting Seth Panyako is simple, because the current governor for Kakamega is going to run against the current governor, and the current governor was supporting the UDA candidate. The current governor is ODM. All right.
Yep.
So he has to go the opposite direction. And the reason why he has to go the opposite direction, because he wants to create a voting bloc that belongs to him. And he wants to create the differences between him and the governor. So these are political strategies that Alwale is using at the moment. But for UDA to think that they are going to remove him from majority whip in the Senate, I feel
Mhm.
that Ruto will not allow that, because it will open other wars that is not ready for at the moment.
All right. Joseph, maybe the last question, then we can jump into the Gusii land. I know there's not so much about Gusii land. We talk about Matiang'i, and then we can come to Mbere. Then we will finalize with we'll finalize with Mbere. Now, when you look at the area that is controlled by Wetangula, and you see that seat was delivered in, because that is his own polling station, that is coming from his hometown. Do you feel that the people of Bungoma have decided to think otherwise, because they've been under one kingdom or under one king for so long, so they feel like, let's try something new, because that was not expected, that Wetangula to lose in his home, that is home, his home.
Yes, Brother Benson, thank you. I think so many people did not expect so much of the results that we witnessed in the by-election 2025 on 27. But I think that's why I told you. You see, these guys called Natembeya and Malala, I've been telling you here, maybe they have energy to do this because they're still young men. Wetangula is clocking maybe, is it 70? It's clocking around 70. So I think these young men will give them run for their money. And you've seen that in Kabuchai. And I think it is going slowly. This thing is a thing that I've started only how many years ago? Was it one? Even we cannot say it is 2 years. Because if we look at 2022, if we went for the elections, after we stayed like 1 year, then we started the maandamano, ile ya sufuria maandamano in 2023. So I think we can say clearly it started from 2024 when we had the skirmishes and the demonstration that happened in 25th of June in 2024. So I think that is where it all started, and I can give them applause because it has only taken them 1 year, and you can see the inroads that they are doing. Politics is not about if I've lost today or I've won tomorrow. It's about how will you be able to keep up with the support in that region, and if you really want to know, I see our brother Laban is very happy about winning the by-elections, but he forgets one thing. The former Prime Minister Raila Odinga did not win any seat as a president, but what did he do? He kept his vigor and he kept his support base. He kept his people on edge. Even though we have gone for four elections, we need to go for the fifth one. And I'm very sure and confident we are going to win, you see. So that is what is in politics. Politics, as we look at it, the way we analyze politics, is the politics of today. Si tuna analyze ile siasa ya leo, by election imefanyika, umeshindwa hivyo, umeisha imefanyika. But the politicians, they look at politics in a very different way. And that way is, where have I done wrong? What did I do? What do I need to add here? Is it some money? Is it some funding I did not do here and there? So I think that is all about politics. And I'm going to tell you, Brother Benson, after that defeat that you see was held by a Akina Natembeya group in Malava, I'm telling you, the next few months before we go to the next general election, because I think it is 1 year and maybe 6 months, 7 months, it will be a very different kind of ball game. I think the by-elections it has helped in the government in seeing like they can get some votes there, but also the united opposition, don't forget, they are learning something from these by-elections, and they have seen truly if we can have a guy. You had Rigathi Gachagua talking yesterday and saying, I never knew that Kilifi we can bring candidates and they can run for the money. You remember him saying like that? So I'm talking about that learning. Politics is about learning. Politics is not about the machine that's an evil. You just keep quiet. And let me tell you, Brother Benson, in 2027 it will be a very different ballgame, because everybody will be campaigning for himself. Kila mtu atakuwa campaign ya kiti yake mwenyewe. Hata Wetangula na Mudavadi, they are going to be campaigning all through everywhere, because Hawezi sema ati utaambia ati Musalia Mudavadi atikaa tu hapo ukitangaliaga tu Kakamega na nini and you want to treat yourself like a national. Unajua the only person I know is going to stick in Mount Kenya is only Rigathi, because Rigathi ile mandate amepatiwa, ameambiwa wewe kaa huko na make sure iko locked. So what will happen really in 2027 will be another different kind of animal, because you cannot be able to use all your funding in 290 constituencies, in 47 senatorial seats, in 47 women representative seats, in almost 1,000 MCA seats, and you still want to 47 governors, and you are still running for the president. It will be very different game in 2027. This one can be a good perception. Maybe the government has taken it as a good perception for them, but also they need to know, also the United Opposition also is taking some notes and seeing hapa tulifanya nini. Tujaribu kuweka tuguns kidogo, brother Benson. Tujaribu kuweka nini kidogo, kama tunaona wanajaribu kuwasha moto, tutafanya nini hapa hivi, tushikashike, kuna nuts zimekazika kidogo. That is all about politics, and I've given you a very good example with the late right honorable Raila Odinga, what he did to his base. He really locked down his base, even though people saw he was won all the elections which passed. He really locked the base, because if it was another politician, brother Benson, nadhani ange give up kitambo. Sidhani kuna politician angeendelea kusimama for elections after winning after losing five general elections. So that is all about politics. If people understand politics, it's not about ati hizi mambo za nimeshinda leo sasa mambo iko cool, iko everything. There is a thing that he told you about a person who alikuwa anavaa nini kamba kwa mshipi. Mimi nitakwambia kuhusu MC wa huko kwetu alikuwa ameuza shamba bwana na aliuza shamba pahali wanasemaga maguta. Unajua hii shamba za maguta hii shamba unasikia ni nono. Aliuza shamba bwana ndio ajaze pesa ya campaign lakini vile alionyesha kwa hiyo campaign brother Nelson azake right now, huyo jamaa alishikwa na stroke.
Wewe Jose unaongea tu. Wacha unajua hii election nyinyi mnaongea because you've not, me I participated, naweza kukuambia first hand experience ya election. First unauza mpaka petrol station, unauza kila kitu, unauza nyumba, you sell your own house, then unaenda unashindwa, ukirudi hauna nyumba ya kuingia. Wewe utaambia watu nini? Yani wewe umeenda uchaguzi, pesa imeenda, na hii pesa ulikuwa unapeana bribe, na ukirudi hauna mahali ya kulala.
Ndio mzalendo, mimi I said truly I never eat money for these campaigns. Nilikula pesa hiyo mzee, and I still regret it till now, kwa sababu huyo mzee unajua mambo yake ya mwisho ile alisema hivyo ndivyo mmedecide kunifanya, ni sawa tu, nimemwachia Mungu. Sasa kama umeambiwa umeachiwa Mungu, si kumaanisha hata mambo yako inaweza kosa kuenda vizuri. From there I stopped eating campaign money.
Joseph, you know what? This is something that I think like everybody who wants to run for political office in Kenya, you have to prepare yourself fully. You have to find a way. 100% or maybe 99% of those who are running, you have to make sure that you have finance, because Kenyan election, one, it is not all about ideology. It's about money, and the money that you are spending, is not even spending on yourself. Even spending it on just only to get a certificate. Yeah. Mtu atakwambia ulikuwa unataka certificate, mimi kuna venye naweza kuunganisha, yani ongee naye, utapatiwa kwa mtu wa pili. Huyo mtu wa pili anakuambia mimi sasa nitakupeleka kwa mama mpaka uone umeingia.
Lakini mimi brother Benson nisema nitakula pesa ya campaign, wacha
campaign. Yani you see the way you really wonder. Unapata grown-ups, people who have been in politics for the longest time, and they know that politics is not even about policy and everything. There's nothing that it is policy. There's nothing like Brother Ben has got the best policies for and can articulate the policies of ODM. That is why we are going to give him the ticket.
Mhm.
Ukiangalia Kasipul, the candidate hata yani hata kujiexpress yenyewe ndiye ajui.
Mhm.
Ako na slogan inaitwa chude chude. Chude chude
Chude,
chude. Na
chude chude hii ilitoka wapi? Nadhani ilitokana na ule kijana wa comedian mwenye anavaa kofia na anawacha macho yake hivi, na sijui anatoka Aero.
ni ujinga tu, yani tu chude chude, yani so I don't know whatever it means chude chude. So
Wanasema hivi.
everybody is chude chude. So kila mtu anaenda tu chude chude, and it is just nothing, empty. When you see people like Laban Misiani here, Laban was a Raila supporter for the longest time. Amekuwa akisupport the losing side every other time, and I kept on trying to educate him about how politics goes in this country and how it happens, but he has never learned anything. Now, when you
Mhm.
lose politics in Kenya, Mr. Laban, politics in Kenya is simple. People love the opposing side, not the ones who are in government. Majority of Kenyans are on the opposing side each and every time. The opposition is always stronger because, first of all, they have got something to talk about. When the government or your MP is going to address his constituents, they have got sometimes nothing to talk about because they have not delivered. When your governor is going to talk, they have got nothing to talk about because they have not delivered. Nothing to talk about because they have not delivered. So it is about the person who is opposing you. It is about the person who is opposing you, who has got the issues at hand, and the issues are simple. Payslip zimekatwa, watu wanakatwa, nyumba zingine haujui kama utapata. You've had complaints in SHA. You've seen that we are having a capitalist political system that is enriching the politician, and that is why the politician controls your life. Hata wewe ukiwa hapo Laban, a politician is controlling your life. You are not in control. Wewe unapangwa, huwezi hata jipanga, hata
Mhm.
kiakili hauwezi. Now,
Hauna
somebody put there ati hata nikipatiwa pesa ya lunch bado ati kura ni siri. When you have sold your soul to me as a politician, you have got no obligation but to vote for me.
Mhm.
Unanielewa?
Mhm.
Yes, unaweza enda huko, but at the end of the day your conscience is clear that ulichukua pesa na ulienda huko kwa sababu ya tumbo yako. Unanielewa? Kuna tofauti. Jua saa zile unapigia kura UDA kwa sababu ya sera, na ujua saa zile unapiga kura kwa sababu ya tumbo yako. Hiyo ndio tofauti.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mzalendo, and for that. And that will be a decision that is going to be made by the voters. Who are they going to elect? And I was just listening to somebody saying that sometimes everything boils down to the
Ben,
voters.
brother Ben, answer this question. Huyu jamaa
Yeah.
anasema nini? Hebu soma hii.
Seattle Bao Kanchori said Kenya has 46 million for
Not
400 and sorry
46,233 polling stations.
46,233 polling station with 50 pre-marked ballots in each. At Ruto will have a head start of cool 2.3 million votes. What a world.
Yeah. Dan Dario is already telling you there were marked ballot papers kwa magari. We saw it. Ama mko ona ama ni zile zilikuwa ni zinaitwaje
Sorry.
zile zilikuwa ni
Yeah.
zile magic. Was it a magic show? I don't know what to call it. You saw
Ndio mzalendo ninasema, if the opposition really, the united opposition really want to win these elections, they should do what Ruto is doing. Akiiba hivyo na nyinyi mnafanya pre-marked, hata nyinyi
no
mnafanya
somebody
pre-marked na mnafanya mingi kuliko yake.
Eric, my friend, really put it clearly. When you go for a battle with somebody who is holding a rifle and a gun and the bullets, you don't go there with a knife and think that you are going to win. I'm Zalendo
Okay.
now. It is me to teach you now. I need Laban. I don't think hii ni encyclopedia ya siasa. I predict elections and I predict them right. Mimi ni encyclopedia.
Okay, sawa, gentlemen.
You know, brother Mzalendo, predicting an election of winning one time does not mean that you can predict all elections of winning. Some people, even us, we have predicted elections and they have happened. Some are wrong.
Baba alituachia nani? Mzalendo baba alituachia baba ya nani?
The two terms.
Unaona, unajua, like in Kenya it is quite much easier to predict who is going to win.
Wacha niulize huyu jamaa kwa swali tafadhali.
Muulize swali.
Laban, baba yako alikuachia Ruto? Baba yako baba alituachia Ruto, alituachia Ruto afanye nini?
You see what is happening. Ruto is the president of broad-based government. Right now, he's controlling the broad-based government. Let's look at what happened in Kisii. We had 3 by-elections, especially that is the larger Kisii, Omogusi. I think Kisii we did not have, but we had in Nyamira, and this went to did not go to either ODM or the UDA, but they went to smaller parties that were in Nyamira. What does this one speak about Matiang'i? To start with,
can I go?
Go first, Joseph.
Yeah. Let me before I answer about that, let me tell you, brother Benson, it's very shocking that people are still trusting this government in River, because when you heard the news saying that we have 125 rich people apart from 42.6 million people, people need to rethink about what they are saying. But I cannot tell people what to do. Voters, they are the ones who they are the ones who decide, and when they decide, I'm telling you, it becomes whatever they do. But that is they have been given the information there. They'll decide what to do. So let me go to Kabucha. Let me go to Kisii.
Kisii,
Amugusi. Let me go to Amugusi. Amugusi, I think that area has been locked. And I don't think even Matiang'i who has locked it. I think the politicians who are there, they have locked it.
How?
I think they have locked it. Because if you look at the inroads that were being done by the Kibagendi. You know Kibagendi?
But the Kibagendi are going with Matiang'i. Those are in the Matiang'i side.
That's why I'm saying they have locked it. It's not even for Matiang'i to lock it. Matiang'i is just there. They are locking it for him. The likes of Akina Kibagendi, the likes of Akina Onyonka, they have locked this Kisii for him. And if you want to know, is when you saw Osoro going for there, I don't know, he had gone to one police station, and those guys were very angry. They even chased him away. And in Kisii, the politics has really changed. I think now they are out of ODM. Kisii is out of ODM. I can clearly tell you that. Because even MPs, the MPs that are going to come back in Kisii, it will not be ODM. I think even that UPA, it's called UPA, the party called UPA. UPA is the one which majority of the votes. They want 2 votes, no? Two seats.
Want two seats, then PDP won 1.
Yeah, but now that UPA needs to be known which party is it, because I know Matiang'i is in Jubilee. Why did they not use
No. UPA is a party that was, in fact, was affiliated to Matiang'i in the beginning, and you've seen how they have celebrated this victory. So Matiang'i is affiliated to UPA, that party you are calling UPA. Now, Jubilee came much later, but Matiang'i and UPA are one. That is why, and you know, Matiang'i comes from that area, called Nyamira.
Yamira.
So it means that that area is even this Laban guy comes from Kisi, and he tells you that Kisi, you see, Dan Dario is also telling you Matiang'i founded UPA. I think now you agree.
By the way, Laban Masiani needs to tell us what happened to his home ground.
No,
He's
Yeah,
no,
talking
that's
he,
home. He's talking
he's
away. He's not
telling
talking
you
home.
know what,
You cannot talk home when you're talking.
Caesar, you know what he's saying? He's saying that if they vote with emotions and they will vote for Matiangi. That is what he's saying. But now, this is the funny. This is what is called. Olensenyika said about youths and politics. Only in Africa will thieves be regrouping to loot again, and then the youth whose future is being stolen will be celebrating. People like Laban Messiani are celebrating the looters of the economy, and they are busy clapping that now we are in the broad base, we are doing everything, we are in government. They are celebrating looters, and yet there is nothing that is even getting from these looters, nothing, but is actually celebrating the regrouping of UDA and ODM to loot the youth.
Okay, and Mzalendo, if you look at what has happened, especially with the those words going to UPA and PDP, do you see ODM has a place in those areas where Laban is coming from? The ODM is going on to claim Laban? Laban, maybe how many are you?
Or Kosobado told you very clearly, very articulately, that ODM is like a shirt, that imeraruka, ni kama nguo imeraruka, kila mtu anaenda na kipande yake. Gladys Wanga ameshachukua kola, ameenda nayo. Ule mwingine wa Costa anaitwaje? Joho
Joho.
amechukua mfuko, ameenda nayo. Sifuna atachukua ile, anachukua anaenda nayo. Babu Owino amechukua ile, anaenda nayo. Unanielewa? So
Nakupata vizuri.
hizi harakati zote unaona, Gladys Wanga, when she's consolidating Homa Bay, she now wants to tell you that I own Homa Bay.
And
Homa Bay
remember, she said that if you're an MP and you're not working with her, then you not get development.
And as if yeye ndio ako na key ya development. Unaona, yani mpafu kama hizo, yani, and then unasikia the youth, unasikia vile the way they clap to such kind of stupidity and arrogance. They clap this kind of leaders. Wanapiga makofi. Huyu amesema. And that's why I said, you remember Wolensenyinka, this Nobel Prize professor.
Wolensenyinka.
Wolensenyinka. You know, his full name was Akinwande Olewon Babatunde Sonyika. That was his real name. So people don't know what his real name was. But this guy said it very clear, very articulately, that only in Africa will thieves be regrouping to loot again, and the youths whose future is being stolen will be celebrating the looters.
Before you continue, I want to make a comment on what we are discussing here. So even the people in the comments are discussing with us.
Yeah.
I want to make to laugh at a comment that Laban has said that what has he actually said that wameshinda
Uh,
all the seats in Kiti Upia, but Ruto for president. So I want also him because he told me to use the elections. He told me I don't talk outside the results. Let him talk about the results. At home ground ni kubaya. Home ground
mm,
si kuzuri vile angedhania. It's not the same as the way he's saying in Homa Bay or in Mbere North. I think home ground ni kubaya. In
okay.
Kisii,
Mm,
things are not working. Things are not working for Ruto in Kisii. So he
all
needs
right.
No,
also to know what to do.
you see, brother, and that is why I had Dr. Milton Nyariko on my show yesterday.
Mm-hmm,
And Milton, I asked him a very important question because I've been going through Kisi,
mm-hmm,
the town from Kilgoris. Just after
mm,
you eat, after you leave Sotik,
yeah.
you get into Kisi, then you get to the border between the Luo when I'm going home. So I drive that along that terrain, and you see the kind of development, and you see the kind of economic activity that is going on in
In that
uh,
area.
in that area. But immediately when you reach a place like Kamagambo, and then now you start driving through Luo Nyanza, you realize that there's no economic activity, much economic activity going on. So this tells you a lot. Then I asked,
Mm,
okay, when you now go to Kiancha and you try to use the roads that are in Keumbu and those areas, the roads are very, very good. Are actually tarmacked. They
yep.
were tarmacked way before the ones in Luo Nyanza. Then you ask the residents there that how do you guys really get these things done? Because we in the other side, who are our neighbors, we can't get these things done. They, you know what they told me?
Yeah.
For us, when an MP or an MCA is not working, they don't care about the party.
Mm-hmm.
They will kick him out. So TC elections are driven by policy, and they are driven by service delivery. So people in Kisi will definitely vote for the right candidates compared to many other regions in Kenya.
Mhm. All right. Before Zalendo, before we go to the last lap of this, you spoke about the issue of youths, on how the youths are maybe clapping when the resources are being taken with the elites, political elites. And also, my observation also was that I saw the majority of youths, these were the bloggers, especially for the government, and even for the opposition or for the candidates that they were supporting, and the same youths. That is the constituency that at least like people have been talking about the Gen Z, the youths, and all that. Do you see themselves still making significant decisions when it comes to 2027? Because during this by-election, a good number of them were missing out.
A good question, brother Ben. Very, very good question. And this is what I've been pondering the whole day. Is that there was a very good opportunity for the Gen Zs in these by elections to participate, either to support the government or to support the opposition. But instead, they took a back seat. Now, remember, the Gen Zs in the next elections will be forming like 70% of the electoral block in Kenya,
Mhm.
and they are not participating,
Yeah.
and they could tilt the scale if they had participated in these elections the way they came out in parliament. So what
Mhm.
happened to this group called the Gen Zs? Now you hear stories that they are not even taking votes. Yeah. And now Kenyan youths are the largest voting bloc. Now, the largest idiots are also used by politicians. Those are the people you see in Jacaranda, supporting the government, yet they don't have any. They wake up each and every day to go on air and say that Ruto kumi bila break, but hawana kitu kwa mfuko. They depend on the handouts by the political class instead of giving them a proposal. Sisi kama vijana wa Jakaranda tunataka usaidizi, tupatie ajira, but instead they resort to political rhetorics. Now the youth unemployment is very very high. Almost 60% of the youths in Kenya are not employed. Mm? And they don't have any kind of steady income. Many are recruited to dig holes, zinaitwaje kazi kwa vijana,
Mhm.
and those jobs are not sustaining. They only last for a few months and they are gone. Now some of them are bought for 200 shillings. Others are even given t-shirts. Others are given alcohol, and others are given wapeleke unga nyumbani. Wengine
Mhm.
tuliona huko mbele wanapewa nyanya na kitunguu, yeah, as a political tool.
Mm.
So uh, when 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 the poverty level is very very high in a certain region, and this takes me back to Kisii, the poverty level in Kisii compared to the one in Nyanza is different. The poverty level in Kisii is not as high as the one in Luo Nyanza or in
Mm.
Kuria. They have
Yeah.
got the youths there have got something to lean upon. Either they are
Mhm.
wanapeleka kitunguu sokoni, wanapeleka cabbage, wanapeleka nini, wanauza, wanapeleka pale daraja mbili, there is something going on. So bribing them becomes very, very difficult. Now the other youths are cheap. They are the ones that on a weekday unapata rally imejaa. Hmm?
Mhm.
On a weekday rally imejaa. Monday, if you ask youths in Kisumu wakuwe kwa rally from Monday to Friday, hakuna mwingine atakwambia naenda job, wachache sana. They will be there so long as tunapata nini at the end of the day.
Unapata
So
pesa.
yeah, and again, let us not forget about the tribal loyalty that is in our politics. Yeah. So
But
some youth are
mhm.
are uh, are tribal. They are
Mhm.
not pushed by the agenda. They are not pushed by what the expectations are. You see, for us, when we participated in politics, we wanted
Mhm.
a good future when we were youth, a good
Mhm.
future for us, and we knew that Raila Odinga is the one who is going to provide for us this future. So the youth today have allowed themselves to be corrupted. They have allowed themselves to be punished on behalf of the politicians. They're the
Mhm.
ones who have allowed themselves to be cut by machetes on
Mhm.
behalf of the politicians, not on anything. Wale youth wote wale walikuwa maimed in these by-elections.
Mhm.
They were maimed because of what? Because of the politicians. True or false?
Yeah, that is
True.
true. And my question to you is this: even if a majority of the youths, especially when you look at in terms of tribe based on the rural settings, because like in our rural settings, you will find that even the majority of those youth, they will vote according to how the people are voting based on the political parties, but that one could not still make them not to turn out to vote.
Now the Gen Zs are asking themselves a very hard questions. They're asking very hard questions. Why do we have to participate in a process that can be manipulated?
Okay.
How do you participate in a process that you know at the end of the day the ruling coalition will steal your votes?
Mhm. All
How
right.
do you participate in that process? No, that is the reason why some of them sit back, and because why do I participate in a process where my vote will not count?
Mhm.
So those are the more important questions that people are asking. But the thing is that can we rectify the electoral machine like IBC? The answer is no. We might not be able to rectify the IBC, but there are things that we can change. We can bring so many young people into parliament and to Senate. To go back to your question, the Gen Z, what lacks in the Gen Z is the leadership. They don't have a leader. They don't have a leader. They don't have a mobilizer who is going to mobilize them to pick the votes. I had the Boniface Mwangi wants to contest as president. Yet at the end, and it depends on the Gen Z vote, but the other time he lost the Stare constituency vote. So how does he even bargain with the people of Kenya that after losing Stare, I want to be president as Boniface Mwangi? These are the bogus campaigns that I say that, they are diverting tactics instead of us facing the real problem and sitting on the other side as opposition and strategizing to say that this is what we need as a country. Mzalendo, the Kenyan Gen Zs went to back to Enugu.
Enugu in Nigeria.
I told you this guy called Laban Msiani. He has lost his mind. These are people who are, unajua Kenya kuna shida ya bipolar.
Okay, Joseph, let me just come to you before we
Laban, please. Rudi uwe ule tulikuwa tunamjua.
Arudi kwa maisha yake halisia.
Yeah, maisha yake bwana. Unajua hii pesa ukikula pia inakuchanganisha. Hii pesa ya wanasiasa ukikula unakuwa na wazimu. Angalia vitu naandika. Hata wewe ukiangalia a few years, 3 years down the road tumekuwa tukijuana na wewe. Hii hisia umetoa wapi? Angalia umeandika nini? Mzalendo, the Kenyan Gen Z went back to Enugu. Angalia
Enugu, I think he's talking about Enugu State in Nigeria.
Kitu hata mmenistua sana ni kuniambia ati nani Laban Misiani ni wa kutoka Kisii. Kwa hivyo kwa wameonyeshwa moto, so anafaa hata ajue kama atarudi Enugu ama atarudi wapi.
He contended akasema sisi kama wa Kisii hatuna hope. UDA does not have hope in Kisii land. That is what he said.
No, he said that they are going to win. He said Ruto is going to win. But the MPs are not going to be.
No, Laban didn't say that.
Laban said it's here. He said that Kisii amesema nini itaichukua lakini Ruto atapata 46% ya president. It's this one. This is what Laban said. Mzalendo.
Sinaangalia brother Ben, all seats in Kisii UPA, but Ruto to get so naona amekwambia UPA itachukua kiti zote huko Kisii.
Lakini Ruto atapata 46%.
Sasa unaona hii Kisii nakwambia hao wa Kisii ni watu wazuri sana. Hao wa Kisii wako upinzani. Wote wako upinzani. Na hata upeleke pesa ngapi? Do you know how much money has gone in Kisii land? Empowerment. Pesa mingi. Kina Osoro wamepeleka sijui empowerment na kina Faruk kina nani. Hao jamaa wabadili, hawasikii, Mkisii asikii. Hata ukimwambia nini. Mogaka.
Okay, leave my friend Laban alone. Now, let's go to the last lap, and this last lap is quite much interesting. And the reason why I wanted to finish with it because based on I was just looking at the internet, and you see that the entire this by-election it was all about Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto. People are not even talking about what happened in Mbeere, but like you would see. Somebody who his name has been mentioned, especially on the social media everywhere, and even the politicians who do not agree with Rigathi Gachagua, the art of politics that he's doing, are mocking him, and they feel that this thing it was about Rigathi Gachagua, and that's okay because I usually say that ile miti ambayo iko na matunda mingi ndinapigwa nini? Mawe. Inamaanisha Rigathi Gachagua ni mtu ambaye kila mtu anamwangalia kwa sababu maybe is a force to reckon with. But now when you look at what happened especially in Mbere, to start with you Mzalendo, do you think this one is going to change the politics of the mountain? Because mountain has always been the talk of the day, especially in politics, based on its numerical, one. Secondly, based on how they vote.
Mm. Uh, that's a very tricky question, but I'll attempt to answer it. One, I said this Mbere ni Wameru, by extension, ni Wamberu. For the first time in the history of the Republic of Kenya, Wambere wako na mtu anaitwa deputy president, anaitwa Kindiki. They regard that seat as an honor by William Ruto to appoint one of their sons to the highest seat, the second highest seat in Kenya. They will vote the same way in the hope that when Ruto leaves power in 2027, their son can be the president. Now, what is so tricky? Why is why did Ruto throw that bait in Mbere? I told you in the beginning, Ruto is a smart, shrewd politician. Only me, Mzalendo, understand Ruto better than anybody else. And you remember when we campaigned for him and he won. I can tell you he's very, very shrewd and he knows where to press. Now, he has now with this victory in Mbere, this is what he's going to tell the Kikuyus. You know, it was not easy for me and any other Kalenjin to ascend to presidency after me because Kenya has got 42 tribes. Merians au Wameru pia wanaweza kuwa rais. Nani alisema Wameru na uchache yao hawezi kuwa rais? So what is this telling you? He's telling me, he's telling other smaller communities that Merus are not Kikuyus. Merus are Merus. Judge them as Merus, not like the way Joseph want to see Berians as Kikuyus. They are not. He is telling you how our Meru.
No, Mzalendo, me, I never said they are Kikuyus. Even Nani has told you there. Ambience, they are even very different from Berians. It's very very different.
So this
The
guy.
support that this guy had Paris in Embu is not the same support he had in Bere.
So in Mbere, they are telling you we are not Kikuyus. Judge us as a different entity. So when he brings that kind of political dynamic, then the Kikuyu in Nyeri knows that these guys are our cousins. So hata Kindiki akisupport William Ruto, we are not losing anything. You understand how this politics is going? Is that Ruto will get a sizable amount of votes in Central Province by the fact that Kindiki is his running mate. In the absence of Kindiki, my other option would have been Ndini Nyoro, who has been playing in the middle. He has been sitting kind of on the fence, hoping that Ruto will pull him on this other side and becomes the running mate so that he can get the larger Mount Kenya block. But this is a fact, and now I'm speaking to the Gema community. Kenya is tired of the Kikuyu presidency. Know that for a fact. To the Kalenjin community, this is the last Kalenjin president you are going to see in the history of the Republic of Kenya. That is a fact. and that will not change. So the ping pong game between the Kalenjin and the Kikuyu community ends with William Samoei Ruto. So the elections in 2027 is the minority versus the majority tribe. That is what is going to happen in 2027. Now, with the coalition of the majority by majority of like Kikuyu tribe in the minority tribe, then there is a chance for Kalonzo Musyoka to win the elections. Those are the things that people will not tell you, but hapa mimi ndaambia ukweli how Kenyans feel about elections.
All right. Thank you, Mzalendo, for that insight. Let me also bring in Joseph, and because Rigathi Gachagua is now the talk of the day. There are those who says that is a big loser, especially in the by-election that has just ended. Maybe for you, Joseph, when you look at the political art of Rigathi Gachagua with the results in Mbeere, does this one reduce his influence in Mount Kenya, or this one even makes him stronger?
Thank you. There was some statistics I was looking at, but I'll put them up later.
Yes.
As I'm going to answer this question. I think Rigathi Gachagua has proved himself that he is an indomitable candidate in that region. Because I remember when they impeached him, they told him that you are going to be forgotten by 2 weeks. But somebody who was supposed to be forgotten by 2 weeks has really given the government a run for its money in Mbeere North elections. Somebody who was supposed to be impeached and he was supposed to be ashamed in front of the public and his people got a sizable amount of votes from Mbeere, which is not even his stronghold, which is not even his backyard. You know, Mbeere is not a backyard for Rigathi Gachagua. His backyard is what you call Wamunyoro. That's why you call him Wamunyoro. It comes from Madeira. Another thing that I can always check is this guy, his political career has been under Uhuru's wing. Apart from being a DO, he was under Uhuru's wing from 2002 to 2022. And he has become only a one-time member of parliament in Kenya. And most of these people that he was arguing with or he was defeating them, he was trying to defeat with them, have already become 2 members of parliament terms, 3 terms. They have been members of parliament who have been so much in the politics of their constituencies or their counties. So me seeing him taking that one and coming as a force which he can be able to get 50-50 in that Mbeere North, I thought that one could also show him in the other side as a person who is really a problem to William Ruto. He's really a big problem to him. But talking about the by-election, we talk about the winner, and the winner is okay. We talk the William Ruto. We say, according to IBC, that guy has won the elections. UDA has won the elections. But in Mount Kenya politics, it will be very difficult, as Mzalendo was saying, that Mbeere people or Tharaka Nithi or Meru people or Embu, they think they are going to be given the presidency by platter. I think that one will be the last nail on their coffin, as they are going to, I was trying to get the votes and the registered voters from Tharaka Nithi, Embu, and Meru. And if you hear the kind of number of voters they have there, you'll be even shocked. So if they are going to try and do that game, I think it will be a game they will regret. Even if the Ruto becomes president 2027 and they think they are going to take that seat by mantle in 2032, I think it is a far-fetched game they are trying to play, because I checked the votes in Tharaka Nithi, Meru, and Embu. they are 1.4 million. 1.4. Because I checked Tharaka Nithi, they have 231,932 registered voters in 2022. I'm talking about registered voters, not votes, registered voters. Meru, they have 772,139. That one even is the highest, because when you go to Embu, they have 334,302 voters. So if you accumulate all these votes, we are looking at them concerning with the registered voters we know as so far. We don't know about the ones who will come in 2027. We need to take the look around. But if that is what they are seeing, and they are seeing that they are planning their son to become a president, Kithure Kindiki in 2032, I think that is a far-fetched dream. Without Mount Kenya being a unit, it will be a problem for them. It will be too much problem for them. But so far, Gachagua, he can be. You can take it in two ways. He has lost that by election, and his people are going to talk about it, and people are going to keep on him. Watu wataanza kumdharau. But you know, even the people who are wanamdharau, they are talking about him. They are the ones who impeached him the other day. I thought they were supposed to tell him that he's supposed to be forgotten in politics once and for all. But they're still talking about him 2 years ago. 1 year now, 1 year to go. They're still talking about him. So I don't know what measure they did. I don't even understand what impact did the impeachment have with them.
Jose, wacha propaganda. Gachagua, is Gachagua a member of DP?
And that's what I want to ask Mzalendo.
Unaanza kutuambia Gachagua lost the election. Gachagua ni leader wa political party gani?
Mimi sitaki hata kuiangalia hivyo, yote ilikuwa United Opposition. Hata ukisema alikuwa DP ama alikuwa Jubilee ama ilikuwa nini, it's all about election. It's all about perception. It was all about Ruto versus Rigathi Gachagua in Mbere. One thing I'm trying to tell you is,
I will not look at it that way.
Whether you look at it that way or don't look at it that way, if the government was intended to steal those votes and they were intended to take that seat, even if it could have been a DCP candidate, it could have been still the same result, because they could have tried themselves so much to steal.
Mbona wakuiba Narok?
No, they were looking. Wewe Mzalendo, si umekuja hapa ukatuambia Ruto alifuta huku ndio ajaribu kuangalia ground yake. Si wewe tu umekuja ukatuambia hivyo. Ruto ni alienda kuvuta ule MP wa Narok. Ule MC wa Narok. Hakuenda kurumunga MP wa Narok.
But
si alienda akachukua MP akamfanya CS. You want to mean there was no other CS in that region to be put there? Ni watu wakubwa wamekosekana wa Mbere.
Alikuwa anatafuta kura.
And now
that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Whether you look it as DCP or DP, what he was trying to see is how he was trying to measure himself against Rigathi Gachagua in that region. That is what he was trying to do.
But now let's also look at this way, because like Rigathi Gachagua being somebody who his party is still very young, and he has gotten some votes, and this is what Rigathi Gachagua said. This is after the election. This is what he said: "Congratulations to Hon Simon Tipatet Sinare, our DCP candidate for Purko Ward, Kajiado, for the splendid performance. He was just caught, though he did not win, despite voter bribery, intimidation by police, by poll credible second. You have bright future in the leadership." He also congratulated especially the members of county assembly that he got 3 of them, and these members of county assembly, he got them outside Mount Kenya. Why can't we look that one also? Why do we so much focus about his downfall?
I have a question from Zalendo, because and I have a question for you, Brother Benson. So when we say that William Ruto got the MP from Mbere, so what do we mean? What are we gauging? Are we gauging it as Meru, Tharaka, or Embu? What are we trying to gauge? Because I'm not understanding what we are gauging here.
Okay, to me,
I need to know that answer.
So this is how I would answer you, and I will answer you based on how the politics has really taken place in that region of Mount Kenya or that region of Central. Because remember, this one came as a result. Everything, their starting point was impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. That's where everything started, you know. And after impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, what happened again? There was appointment of Kindiki. And where would Kindiki coming from? Kindiki was coming from the east. And in the political maybe mindset of William Ruto, it was balancing because Gachagua was coming from this other side. The impeachment was done. So he was finding a way on how to balance off. Yeah. And how was he balancing off? He was balancing off by appointing on the other side. You know, then what happened again? When they disagreed with Muturi, you know, what happened after the sacking of Muturi? He appointed a CS from somebody who is active member of parliament. So in essence, what President William Ruto was trying to do, President William Ruto was trying to make the marking scheme. You know, I told you about the hypothesis. Why? What if? And those answers has been made. So he was trying to test its popularity in the area of eastern part. That was what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I was asking Brother Benson, he was trying to mark the popularity, but how many counties do we have in Mount Kenya East? Because you keep on saying Mount Kenya East here. I need to know how many counties we have in Mount Kenya East.
How many are they? It's about the population. It's not about the counties.
No, you cannot say population and you don't know the counties. No, you need to start with the counties and know the politics that are being played in that county. Because you cannot just say that he was just coming to mark his own, his own observations, but you're not talking about the counties. Which counties are there? You know, there are so many things that have happened in Meru since Ruto was a president. There has been even an impeachment against the governor.
Yes,
there has been so many things that have happened in Meru. The politics in Meru is not very easy as we see, because we have had so much things that happened in Meru.
Anyway, let me help you guys in this conversation. There are 3 counties in Mount Kenya East. Yeah,
there are not 3. There are 4.
There are 4.
You start with Kirinyaga. Kirinyaga is a starting point. What are you trying to tell me? No, we start with Kirinyaga. We go to Embu.
In Mount
Brother Mzalendo, I stay in Kirinyaga. We start with Kirinyaga. We go to Embu. We go to.
No. Let me mention my counties. You'll mention.
No, I need to correct you. I need to correct you because you are not saying.
I know Meru. I know Meru County. I know Embu County. I know Tharaka Nithi County. Period. That forms Mount Kenya East.
What does East mean for you?
What do you mean? What does East mean?
Because we call it Mount Kenya East. What does East mean?
How many counties? Okay, let me ask you a simple question. How many counties do you have in Mount Kenya?
We have a lot of counties. Even Nyandarua is a county in Mount Kenya.
I want an answer. How many counties do you have?
So many. We have around 8.
That is not an answer. That means that you don't know. We have got 10 counties. We have got 10 counties. You see, you are saying 8. We have got 10 counties in Mount Kenya. You don't even know.
Which ones? Tell me which ones.
I have told you. The bone of contention here was. No.
You cannot tell me how many counties. You cannot say 10 and then you leave that statement not answered. Which are the 10? Tell me the 10.
You've told me 8.
No, you say the 10 first. Tell me the 10. You know the 10. Tell me the 10.
My friend,
then so that
are you trying to gauge my knowledge in this subject?
Yes, I'm gauging it because you say 10. You cannot leave a statement you have said not answered. We are people.
Let us go back. I know them. I can count them for you. But let me go back to the main subject here. that we are talking about. We are talking about the counties in Mount Kenya East. You have mentioned 4. You have mentioned Kirinyaga as one of the counties. Why do you place Kirinyaga with Meru and Embu and Tharaka-Nithi?
When you answer the
Is
question, I told you. You see,
Kirinyaga in the east?
Mzalendo, you
No,
don't want me to talk, but you
Kirinyaga
want
in
to
the
talk.
east?
You don't want to understand. You want only to talk. You don't want to listen to what I'm telling you.
Okay, just
I've asked
let
you
me.
why do we say east? That is when you answer that question is when you are going to understand what I'm talking about. Why do you say east?
Give me your answer.
Why I talk about east?
Mm.
We talk about east because of even the language that they speak. It's not the same language, Kikuyu language. It's very tough, totally different.
Is that
It is a language close to you have the Kisi as a Bantu and the Luya, but you cannot say that they are Mount Kenya. Why don't we say they are Mount Kenya? We always say they are Bantus, but they are apart because these guys, even Kamba, they are supposed to be among the Gema, but we don't say they are there. Why? Because of the language. And if
so?
you hear the language that is being spoken, I speak that language, Brother Mzalendo, I know. There is a difference in languages. And I can tell you when somebody is speaking from Embu, even Kikirinyaga, is very totally different from what I'm speaking as myself. The only language that seems to be the same is from people from Nyeri, Muranga, and Kiambu. If you hear the Kikuyu they're talking is similar. But just go and listen to them. That's why we hear there is, all of these counties, they are all together in one region called Mount Kenya. And they are in a certain region. All of them, they are bordering the Mount Kenya region. And that's why you hear they are being termed as East and they are being termed as West. I came here and I told you, Mzalendo, that Brother Benson, that do you know Embu at one time was in Eastern Province? I came and told you that. So which counties now that are now were in Central Province? Which counties were in Central Province at that time? Because you can check even Central Province in your phone. Tell me which counties are now that were there in Central Province. Then you can be able to clarify everything I'm saying, if I'm wrong or I'm right. But as for the counties, I said 8. I'm adding like Kipia, and I'm adding. We have like those are 3, 4, 3, 7, then 1, yeah, around 9. Then they call Nakuru as a diaspora, Brother Benson.
Yeah,
That one is called diaspora. Kikuyu
yeah.
as diaspora. They are
Is
called Kikuyus as diaspora, but it's not
Nyandarua
Mount Kenya, they are
excuse
diaspora.
me, is Nyandarua County?
I've already counted it. I've counted them. I'm counting them with my head. I know them at the back of my head. Even like Kipia. I've
Okay,
counted them like the back of my head. But Nakuru, the
count.
one you add in Nakuru, because I see where you're getting 10. Nakuru is a diaspora. It's the same you can say. It's the same you can say in Dagoretti South. It is diaspora Kikuyus, Brother Benson. Ni kama wale wa Kikuyu wako Nairobi. Do we say that one is Mount Kenya? Do we say Nairobi is Mount Kenya?
Why I don't know why it is saying that the link expired. I tried to send the link and they're telling me that it's expired. Let me see again. Let me try to resend it. But we're almost closing. Let me see. Big Body Roddy 68. Hey, my wife says she went to high school with you. Do you know? Jenna told she wants to know who did she go with. Joseph?
They are saying the link has expired. Kwa hivyo tuko live ama tuko live? Mzalendo tuko kwa
You're live.
We are live.
They are saying the link expired. Oh, is the link?
No, let me try and send it again.
On my channel. My channel, I'll see it when we are.
But I like Mzalendo. You know why I like Mzalendo? Mzalendo always understands some politics. You know, Mzalendo has been here for quite a while. But I was counting the Mount Kenya as Mount Kenya, brother.
I told you.
Mzalendo na hesabiki Mount Kenya.
you're omitting some things technically. Jose, you know I'm right. You know I'm very right.
And no, that is something that
Lakini
actually
mzalendo
happens.
hiyo ya Nakuru,
I'm
hiyo
right.
ya Nakuru hapana. Mzalendo hiyo ya Nakuru hatuwezi hesabu kama Mount Kenya saa hizi. Kwanza Nakuru is a contentious nini?
Bwana. Nakuru ni kwa Kikuyu, hakuna kitu kingine, wacha kudanganya hapa. Nakuru ni kwa Kikuyu.
Kwa hiyo mzalendo unataka kusema Gachagua atashinda Nakuru?
Of course, Nakuru kwa kina Molo huko ni hizo ni makaunti za Gachagua hizo. Molo, Molo, Nakuru, Naivasha, hizo Gachagua atachukua yote.
Nakuru, I think what happened is really the diverse popularity that was spread out by Kikuyus. That is what makes it even. But you know Nakuru, why Nakuru I fear it most. Nakuru, you know, Brother Benson, Brother Mzalendo, the way I see it, Nakuru, their politics will be of a great difference from the Mount Kenya because Nakuru, you know, is a very hot spot.
Kama Gachagua anashinda Kariobangi, unafikiri Nakuru hatashinda?
Nasema saa hizi elections tunaenda. Unajua what happened in 2007? It was a very difficult year for the people who are staying in Nakuru, and I think they are afraid of going to that again. They are afraid of that kind of going back to all the methods that time.
I know your argument where it's coming from. You know why you're arguing like this? You're arguing like a politician. Now you're arguing like that guy who lost elections. What was his name? And I told you, jamaa akale kamzee.
By the way, si argue mzalendo. I'm trying to tell you.
Wacha nikumalizie. I know this rhetoric where it's going. And I've heard it from that guy who lost elections. And they play this ball wanacheza neutral, wanacheza you know, even the current governor anacheza neutral, anajaribu kucheza neutral kama wewe, anasema you know, Nakuru iko hivi, Nakuru sijui iko namna hii, kuna wakale hapa, so tunaogopa kupigwa nini. Sema mnaogopa kupigwa, si ati nini.
Kwani mnadanganyana? Sisi wote danganya mzalendo. Ni kweli.
Siasa ya Nakuru iko namna hii. Gachagua will win all the seats in Nakuru. DCP itachukua zote za Nakuru. And for one reason, Wakikuyu wako wengi hiyo sehemu ya bonde la ufa ya hiyo ya Nakuru. Wako wengi. Kuanzia Molo, ukikuja Nakuru town, ukikuja pale Naivasha, MPs wote wamekuwa ni Wakikuyu. Hakuna Mkale, hakuna Mjaluo, hakuna Mkamba, ni Wakikuyu. Hizo mashamba zote na mahoteli zote they are owned by Kikuyus.
Lakini unajua kwa nini tunaita abroad, brother Mzalendo? Kwa sababu paka kuna Lamu.
Okay.
You know, even Lamu is abroad. Lamu always they vote for Kikuyu MPs and even governor. So that's why I call it abroad. Ni Wakikuyu wako abroad.
All right, Joseph.
That is how we term them. But the area, the way you are saying, Brother Benson, I'll come back to you, is about Mount Kenya East. I was asking you about those and why do you think he had the masking scheme? Because, you know, the politics that are being played is very hardcore politics in Mount Kenya. They are very hardcore. And I don't think we have ever played politics that are like that in Mount Kenya. It has been somehow uneasy politics.
Kabla uende, wacha nikuambie zile vitu unajaribu kuignore. Mount Kenya West, Nyeri County, Kirinyaga County, Murang'a County, Kiambu County. Hizo ndio Mount Kenya West. Now,
what about Nyandarua? Nyandarua and Laikipia?
Nyandarua and Laikipia are not in West.
They are where?
Sasa hapo kwa Nyandarua tunaenda Nyandarua we cannot place it in East and we cannot place it in West.
So where will we place it? Because I need to know as we answer in these questions.
So Nyeri, nimesema Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Kiambu au ni West? East ni Meru, Embu, na Tarakanyiti. Now North.
Yes, what?
North,
and Kirinyaga, brother Mzalendo.
Angalia
Kirinyaga, hujaenda Kirinyaga, nataka usikie, uniambie Kirinyaga. Tusijasikia Kirinyaga.
Nimekuambia Kirinyaga ni West na nikakwambia
Okay.
Laikipia na Nyandarua. All the time when you quote the politics of Mount Kenya, always know that they are on the northern side of the slopes. Au ni north.
Yeah. So the North Mount Kenya.
Hiyo ni North Mount Kenya.
Okay, Zalendo and Joseph, let me take this opportunity. We have our two guests here. We have Msimamo and also we have Simba Nataya. Wacha nianze na Simba Nataya. Simba Nataya, sema tusikie maoni yako. Amekimbia tena na alikuwa anataka tuambie Ubugo sinasema nini. Msimamo sema.
Msimamo kamili, anaitwa Msimamo, jamaa wa Kilifi. Huu ni wale walipigia ODM kura kabisa na wakashinda pale.
Wewe mbona sumwache ajisemee, kwani wewe ni msemaji wake? Msimamo sema.
Huu ndio diwani mtarajiwa.
Na sijui nini mbaya, simpati hata kidogo. Aya, double echoes, we can hear you. Oh, you can hear me? Double echo, wanasema wanaweza nisikiza, kwani shida ni
Kuna kitu ninaweza taka kujibu ya Father Dan.
Joseph, kuna swali lingine au umejibu hapa?
Ndio nimeona hata hiyo ya Father Dan anasema ati mid. So if Laikipia and Nyandarua they are mid, so it means most of the MPs there they are supporting Gachagua, but they are in mid. You know in Nyandarua the likes of Akina Methwe, the likes of Akina, this MP from Nyandarua, his name is called Joseph Kinyua. Is Joseph Kinyua? Yeah, Joseph Kinyua. Yeah, most of them. So I would like to see that mid east, because me what I've been knowing, I don't look at Mount Kenya as vile mnasema east ama west, vile Mzalendo anasema. I look at it with the way people are talking, their language that they are talking, the language that they are speaking. Wewe ni Mkikuyu unaongea Kikuyu, wewe ni Muembu unaongea Kiembu, wewe ni Meru unaongea Kimeru, wewe ni Mdharaka unaongea Kidharaka. That is how I look at the Mount Kenya division.
But Joseph,
what about the regions?
Joseph,
you can keep them like that. Even Kirinyaga.
Okay, Mzalendo, ngoja niulize Joseph swali. Kwa sababu sasa hapo utakuwa unatuchanganya. Wakati ambapo Ruto alikuwa anapigiwa kura in 2022, mbona hayo ambayo unasema kwa saizi au kuku unasema?
Nimekuwa nikisema hayo mambo kutoka kitambo. Niliwaambia Raila amekuwa akipata kura kutoka Meru. I told you the same thing. When I came here.
Na ngoja tu swali bado inakuja. Wewe ndio ulikuwa unasema hivyo, lakini swali tena la pili. Ukiangalia baada ya UDA kukuja, labda UDA kuingia katika kama tuseme kwamba chama cha UDA. The first MP for UDA to get came from Kiambu.
Well, the first MP from UDA came from Kiambu. But you want me to answer, or you still have more questions?
Just wait, then we will invite. Just you make it brief. And
I answer.
Yeah, and by UDA winning that Kiambu seat, that was like a benchmark for President William Ruto for the Mount Kenya.
Yeah, let me talk about that. You see in Kiambu, what I think really happened, Uhuru was not at it like the way Ruto went at it. If Uhuru really did his politics and did all the pouring and dishing out of money in that Kiamba seat, I'm very certain that he could have taken that seat. He just let it go. I told you the votes that differentiated between Kawanjiko and Karerijama was very few. It is the same thing that happened in Mbere. It was around even, I think, 500. It was around 700.
You say I'm so embarrassed. What you just said
No, you
is
don't want me to answer Mzalendo. Nimeulizwa swali nijibu. I'm talking about Kiambu.
umesema Uhuru angepeana pesa.
Yeah, he could have dished out money and do all the kind of politics we saw being done in Mbere. But Uhuru was not interested in that. He was leaving his term. Uhuru was a president who had already served his 2 terms. Do you think if it was Uhuru wacha nikuulize swali, Brother Benson, do you think if Uhuru was at that president in 2017, he could have let that seat go?
But
kwa hivyo kupeana pesa na bribe kwako ni sawa tu.
Sijasema ni sawa, lakini tumeona sijasema ni sawa Mzalendo. Nimesema kama angetaka kushinda angemwaga vile pesa ilimwagwa na vile kulimwagwa gunism Mbere, ndivyo tu angefanya, lakini hiyo election hakuna gunism tuliona in Kiamba. Kiamba uliona gunism, pigano uliona kufanywa nini?
Mimi Jose, I don't
Hebu tusikize msimamo anasema vipi.
Nimekujibu juu sasa unasema uende kwa msimamo. Nimekujibu. Nimekuambia kama ni Uhuru angekuwa 2017, unadhani hiyo kiti ingepotea? That is the question you need to answer yourself. Ingepotea.
Yeah, I still believe ingepotea kulingana na venye mambo ilikuwepo, kwa sababu kitu ambacho most of the Central Kenya were saying during those days was that Uhuru Kenyatta was not accessible, and they were saying that Uhuru Kenyatta has taken development to Nyanza. You've seen those things. Those are the driving factors that were taking it to the votes. It was not all about money. There are so many factors that could have contributed to it.
In that election, you know, one thing you forget. You know one thing you forget. That MP who was running against Kawanjiko was a very experienced MP. He's not just a simple MP as we are talking about. Kariri Njama was a very experienced MP, and he had done so much work for his people.
Uhuru was not popular in Central. He was not.
He was not.
Going to 2022, he was not.
Not about popularity, but if he wanted to take the machine, you think Ruto was popular in Mount Kenya at that time? At this time,
yes,
he was.
He's still popular in Mount Kenya.
Yeah,
you want to say he's still popular now in Mount Kenya than the way Rigathi is popular?
No, things have changed. Now the
so you want to mean so from today we want to mean Rigathi is not popular in Mount Kenya because you said Ruto is popular. Mmesema Ruto is popular. You cannot have two ways about this. Is either Ruto is popular or Rigathi is popular.
To your standards, you just said that money can buy the people of Central Province, and to your standards again, you have said that Ruto used money in Mbere, and that is why he's popular. Had William Ruto had Uhuru done the same thing that Ruto did in Mbere?
Pesa ilitumika bwana. Money was used to buy people. It's not a secret anymore. We cannot lie about that.
Does it mean that Ruto is popular?
Who, in Mount Kenya?
Yeah, in Mbere.
Is that one I've left for you to answer? You're saying he's popular, then you're saying Gachagua is popular. So how do you have two people who are popular in Mount Kenya? You need to answer me that one. Wacha mzalendo waongee.
If you can buy a popularity, then it is okay. If our standard measure is the amount of money that you are going to use in a constituency, then Ruto is popular in Mbere.
I'm really shocked that Ruto is popular in Mount Kenya and Rigathi is still popular. I have never had people become popular in a certain region. Is either one is popular or one is not.
Okay.
Just one Mbere.
Musimamo, how are you doing? Unaendelea aje kaka?
I'm doing good.
Asubuhi yake umekuja kama umechelewa, karibu sisi tunaondoka.
Bwana wewe, alafu pia sina maisha, ni ile kwamba yani ni hamu na sitaki kukosa hapa, maneno ni matamu, mara kidogo nimetemwa.
Asante sana. Hebu tuambie maoni yako kulingana na yale ambayo yalitokea hii wiki, sana sana tukiangalia uchaguzi hizi ambazo tumekuwa nazo, matokeo.
Nasikia roho sasa tayari, wacha mlifanye.
Yeah, okay, sema nisikie.
Sio kama mnanipata
vyema kabisa.
Mambo ya nini hiki kitu kilipangika hapa, tuangalie tu tofauti ya hizo numbers na ushindi, tutajua nini kilijiri. Ule ushindi ambao tunasema huyu kafanya hii, ule cha popularity hapa labda mnaambia manipulation, labda ndio it takes place, ilichukua nafasi yake. Na kama ni kuangalia, ni lazima tuangalie hizo vitu viwili. Pesa ilitumika kweli, lakini sidhani kwamba pesa ndio lilileta huu ushindi, kwa sababu ukiangalia hiyo nafasi na hizo gaps, matokeo yalikupa yani yalipikwa mahali. So lazima sisi hapa tuambiane kweli, tutafute pale ambapo ugonjwa upo. Tusiseme tunaumwa na kichwa alafu naenda kwa daktari anasema naumwa na mguu. Tuangalie ili nyungu na pika haya matokeo, hapa ndo kwenye ubovu.
Lakini si ukiangalia kwa undani zaidi ama ukifanya utafiti, sisi hapa tulisema kwamba pale ambapo tuliona kwamba kulikuwa na shida kidogo ni IEBC ndio hawakuwajibika katika kazi zao, na wengine walikuwa wanasema hapana. Sisi tulikuwa tunaona hivyo.
Kuna umaarufu kwa hapo, hele ilitumika tu kisingizio. Pia sidhani kama ni tuangalie hizi numbers.
Haya, kinakaa msimamo kidogo, itabidi Joseph, kabla tujafunga, kuna kitu ambacho inafaa tufafanue hapa kidogo. Joseph, rudi, hebu weka kamera.
No, I'm very shocked by Father Dan saying that he is popular but is negative. Mi sielewagi, utakuwaje popular and you're negative? This is the first time I'm hearing about your popularity and you are not like...
Ndo zimenitatiza ndugu zangu, laumu mara naongea.
Okay, ulikuwa unakwama.
Ile akanaweza nikazungumza, si mwananchi naamini kwamba alifanya yake na hajafanya yasio sahihi kwake. Lakini sasa kuna wale walicheza kama wao kwanza, wana nguvu hiyo, lazima tukubaliane. Na tukitaka hiki kitu tubadilishe, lazima tuangalie hii nguvu iko wapi. Hawa wenzetu wana nguvu, wako na tear gas, wako na polisi, wako na guns, alafu wako na pesa. Hivi vitu hivi lazima tuangalie kama kweli tunataka mabadiliko katika hili taifa. Unajua inakuwa ngumu, mimi nakwambia amani, nimebeba kitambaa cheupe, mwenzangu unanipiga na tear gas. Sometimes inakuwa tuko watu wawili tofauti hapo. Kwa hiyo na matokeo kimtazamo wangu na gaps na vinanifuatilia kwamba ni ushindi wa kutengeneza, si ushindi wa mwananchi. Tudanganyane hapa. Achie hapo kama kuna lolote lile, lakini kimtazamo wa msimamo. Asante.
Okay, sawa. Asante sana kakangu. Najua hata tunakaribia kufunga. Naona ndugu yetu Gitonga pia leo amekuja. Gitonga ni siku mingi sana. Joseph, labda pali ambapo mimi nilikuwa place that I was disagreeing with you was in 2022. Is it 2020? Is it 2021 when we are headed toward election, especially for Kawanjiku? And when you look at that moment in time when Kawanjiku was winning, one of the narrative was that played part was about the newly found friendship between the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the late Right Honorable Prime Minister, with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, contributed a lot for Kawanjiku to win. Secondly, President by then was very unpopular because he was decampaigned by people like Ndindi Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wah, Alice Wahome, and even Moses Kuria really was against the president. So during that time, if you look at the popularity of President William Ruto, then when he was a deputy, He was very popular. And remember, how many several trips did President William Ruto make? Especially every Sunday, President William Ruto used to be in Mount Kenya. That is one. Secondly, he used to say that he's giving access, especially to people of Mount Kenya, the things that President Uhuru Kenyatta did not do for Mount Kenya. He was ready to do them when he's elected president. And that's where Rigathi Gachagua even differed with the president. So during that moment, during that time when Kawanjiku was being elected and the UDA was the fresh, was a new political party in the bloc, revamped, popularity of President William Ruto as compared to Uhuru Kenyatta then in Mount Kenya. President William Ruto was very popular then. And that result of Kawanjiku gave him even more motivation to keep campaigning and made him to give him assurance that he can win the Mount Kenya.
Brother Benson, I think you have asked the question and you answered yourself in the same question. What have you talked about Ruto? What did Ruto do? Because you have said something there before you said about...
First, I talk about popularity.
Yes, and then what did you say about Ruto? Because there's something you said about Ruto. What did he do?
He made several trips, especially
not several. He made so many trips. Yeah. So many trips in Mount. He was even camping in Mount Kenya. So the question I need to ask you: you said Uhuru was unpopular. Okay, I don't try to disagree with you, but the question is, why did it make him unpopular? Because there was a guy called William Ruto who had made transverse trips. Do you think if Uhuru had tried to do that, they could be in the same? They could have been any difference if Uhuru tried to do inroads?
They could have been very different because there were so many pointing factors that contributed to even Uhuru Kenyatta being unpopular. First of all was the issue of BBI. You have to put that one in consideration.
Yes, you know. and that's why I'm telling you, Brother Benson, it happened.
Just wait, when the BBI was coming, Raila was in the picture. And if you look at the history of Raila with the Central Kenya, those are some of the things that you have to put in place and look at.
So let me ask you a question, Brother Benson. Right now you're saying Ruto is popular in Mount Kenya, but you're also saying that he joined the broad-based government. You know, I'm hearing people are saying like that. He also joined the broad-based government.
Let me tell you something. You're not understanding me.
No, you don't want me to answer. You ask me a question, then you don't want me to answer, Benson. You cannot ask me a question, then you don't want me to answer.
What you are saying that I'm saying President William Ruto is popular is wrong. I'm telling you, then if you look at, I'm talking about Kawanjiku. I'm not talking about right now.
No, you said about Uhuru popularity.
Yes.
In 2022.
No, I'm talking when Kawanjiku was being elected. I was talking about their popularity. That's what I'm speaking about. That is what I'm speaking about.
I'm asking you, Brother Benson, did you know the candidate called Kariri Njama very well?
Yeah, I knew him.
Because I knew him very well. And he was a candidate who had been elected before, and they knew the work that he had done. But if you had to and heard what people said, they said that Kariri Njama, the thing that made Kariri Njama to be won that election, is not that Kawanjiku was very good and popular. It is the party that Kariri Njama used. He used Jubilee as a party, when in turn the people of Mount Kenya wanted UDA as a party at that time. They wanted to teach Uhuru Kenyatta a lesson. The whole politics of 2022 in Mount Kenya was to teach Uhuru Kenyatta a lesson. What was it for?
And you bring it very well. You talk about you talk about the party. Okay.
That's why I'm saying that Uhuru Kenyatta at that time was very unpopular because of the things he was bringing. I'm not refusing that. Uhuru Kenyatta was unpopular in Mount Kenya at that time because even the way he did it. But you cannot talk about a president who is about to leave power if he's popular or unpopular. His work is done. It's like saying Moi Kibaki. When Moi Kibaki was leaving office, Moi Kibaki also did not even seem like he wanted a Uhuru presidency. But Uhuru became popular in Mount Kenya, and he took over the reins. At that time, I don't even think it could have been easy for, that this time they are saying that unataka kupatiwa Mudhegi. They are calling them Mudhegi. Uhuru took the mantle from Kibaki, even if though Kibaki did not want his presidency, he took it from him. And he continued to run for the presidency 2013 till 2017. The thing that happened in Mount Kenya clearly is one thing. Uhuru did not give up the mantle. That is one of the things that happened in Mount Kenya, clearly. And that's why you can see there is inbuilt fighting inside. Because if you could have tried to galvanize these people and bring them together, but which people could have you brought together when the people are the ones who are fighting you?
So
could you have tried to bring them? You know, in 2013, when 2012, when we went into 2013, Kibaki did not engage himself so much in the politics of 2013. So the politicians at that time, you remember the politician Akina Michuki and Kina Gitobu Imanyara, they were those kind of politicians who brought in Uhuru as a I know even you know the video where Uhuru is being given the mantle. You saw that video where Uhuru is being given the mantle and told that he's going to be leading the community. So that did not happen in 2022 before we crossed to 2022 because Uhuru was feeling afflicted with what he wanted is not what even the MPs themselves. Unajua Uhuru alikuwa amedikampeniwa na MP wengi sana. Which MPs were campaigning for Kariri Njama?
Even if you listen how you reason, so maybe to ask you a very simple question, let's say that somebody has asked you that during that time, what made Kawanjiku to win, especially what were the driving factors that drove people to the ballot box?
Kawanjiku was voted because of a party. It's not because he had good things to come and tell the people. It was about the party that he went with, and I want to disagree with Dan Dario when he said that people can be a negative or positively be. Raila was not popular in Mount Kenya in 2013. That one you need to know that. And I'm telling Dan Dario today, I know about 2013. I was there and I did I was even on the ground doing some campaigns for some of my friends, and he was not popular in Mount Kenya. So he does not come and tell us that he was negatively or positively. Uhuru was popular in Mount Kenya at that time. I cannot refuse with you. 2022, Ruto was popular in Mount Kenya.
And
Raila was not. And Raila was not, Brother Benson. We need to say these things, call them as they are.
So that the question that I'm asking you, forget about those. The question that I'm asking you, and we will bring in Msimamo because we want to know when Kawanjiku won, because in terms of academics, the competitor was well off. In terms of development, the competitor was known. Everything, he was beating Kawanjiku. Yeah? And you're talking about the party, that the party made him to be or to win that seat. Who was the owner of the party?
At that time?
Yeah.
At that time, the party, the owner was William Ruto.
Yeah, so which means, do you think
he was popular?
Yeah, so, and that's the popularity, that's what I was telling you, that Kawanjiku won the election because President William Ruto then was more popular in Mount Kenya than Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And
Brother Benson, you're being answered even by people there. The issue about Kawanjiku was not all about Kawanjiku or Kariri Njama or what. The issue is the same thing with Bear and all. It was about showing Uhuru who is going to talk. The Kikuyu people were showing Uhuru, we are going to show you dust. They were talking about showing Uhuru Kenyatta dust. That is what happened. There is nothing further from that.
And that's where what I'm telling you. The only thing that we are not agreeing here, we are asking at what are the things that made people to went to the election. I would count one, the resistance that my brother is talking about here. Those were the driving factors. Two, there was the element of Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga and the BBI. Three was the element of the new party that was brought by President William Ruto. Those were the driving factors.
And you have forgotten to put something that is very important. What Kikuyu perceived as William Ruto being tortured by Uhuru Kenyatta. Why are you not putting that?
Yeah, so
people in Mount Kenya thought Uhuru was mistreating William Ruto. Why are you not putting that as one of the points you are saying? There were many points and many factors. Many of them went and said that Ruto amekuwa kidhurumiwa, and Kashago was one of the people who was campaigning that. saying Uhuru Kenyatta amekuwa kidhurumu huyu mtoto aitagwa William Ruto, amemnyima sijui security. Those were the kind of the things that were being talked at that time. Are we forgetting very fast?
We are not forgetting. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you, and everything that you say, I agree with them 100%. By there, I'm not denying. But we have to agree that, especially like even what happened in Mbere, and when you look at political holistically, even what happened in Mbere, there could be a driving factors that made that guy to win, and we can count them right here. We can talk about the voter intimidation. That is a factor. Secondly, it's about voter bribery. That is a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Two, again, is about the political terrain where the Kindiki, the Gachagua effect, all those played a part. All those were factors that were considered, we could say, might have tilted the outcome of the election or the results.
Me, one question I don't understand, Brother Benson, is one thing that we are talking here. We are bringing so many points. We have brought so many points. Even we are forgetting the points that we are bringing. We say we first started this one as a Mount Kenya East versus a Mount Kenya West. That is what we started. The grounds was started. Okay. The thing that I'm coming in terms with is okay. He's popular in I saw you said he's popular in Mount Kenya. Which Mount Kenya part are you talking about? Because I heard you divide in the Mount Kenya East versus West. So which part of it will be popular? I would like to know.
So this is what I want. I don't know whether you're saying I'm talking about the popularity right now or the popularity then of Kawanjiku, because we are talking about two things here. So you have to tell me about which one are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about right now, the Mbere North.
The Mbere North. The Mbere North. The Mbere North now, from the statistics, and those are now the questions that we are asking, that from the statistics right now, when you go, the UDA won that election, and it did not win it by a landslide. So it means when you're looking at the results now as we speak, the results itself, whether it was massaged or what, now we are dealing with the result. You know, it tells you that when you look at the popularity of both President William Ruto and Gachagua, to me, in Mbere, they're running 50-50.
So that's why I asked you that question, Brother Benson. So where is Ruto popular, in Mount Kenya East or West?
The Ruto is popular for where the election was carried out.
So in Mount Kenya East?
That's where they share the popularity. Yeah?
In Mount Kenya East, yeah?
Because we are dealing with the data that we have from the election.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying in Mount Kenya East. I'm not denying everything you're saying. Yes. In Mount Kenya East.
From the election that we had.
So he's popular in Mount Kenya East. They have 50-50 popularity in Mount Kenya East.
They have 50-50 popularity because like they were the main contenders in that election.
Yeah, so because we have come again now to the same question. 2022, Ruto beat Uhuru in his backyard, which was Kiambu. You remember? It was Kiambu. Kiambu is the backyard of Uhuru Kenyatta, which is Gatundu. So what is the ripple effect of Gachagua in his backyard? Because Gachagua was not beaten in his backyard. He was beaten in another. He was trying to beat somebody in his own backyard, who is Kindiki.
Yes. So now this is now what is there in now when you look at what is happening now when you go to, especially now, let's talk about Nyeri, where Rigathi Gachagua is coming from. Yeah, we can still believe right now as we speak. We can still believe that Rigathi Gachagua is still very popular in his backyard. Maybe, for instance, if Ruto can do this, the Nyeri governor or the Madeira member of parliament, if he points him, or let's say that Ruto appoints him to the cabinet position and that seat remains vacant, then we say, okay, let's go for election. Let's do the test drive. If it happens that the person that has been sponsored by the UDA wins on the Rigathi Gachagua backyard, then that one will tell us that the popularity of Rigathi Gachagua is going down. But if it happens that Rigathi Gachagua wins, then that one will be another story.
Yeah, that's all I was talking about, and you've answered it correctly the way I was saying. You cannot pitch this one as a Mount Kenya testing ground that you have tested and you have seen Mount Kenya is like that. You know,
Okay.
Muzalendo people said there is a battle between how the Mount Kenya East is going to take over the presidency in 2032. And I came here and I told him, you cannot take the president in 2032 as Mount Kenya East without the West. It is totally impossible. We are tied at the hip. We are somehow tied at the hip because most of the votes that is coming from West. And let me educate Father Dan today when he's saying that they are Mid-East. There is no Mid-East or Mid-West or Mid-North. He says that you are somewhere, you are not anywhere. And for the popularity, you cannot have negative popularity, Brother Benson. If you are not liked, you are not liked. People don't like you. They are not going to support you in any kind of way. Just go to a place like somewhere like Githunguri and go and ask them who is Ruto. Some of them, even some of the ladies in Ukambani don't know him. That is not popular. That is not negative popularity. You are either known or you are not known. There is either two things. You are known or you are not known. Simple. Uhuru in 2022, he did the blunder and the blunder costed him. And he was unpopular. Even if they liked him. You know one thing that Brother Benson, we hate to come and admit. Uhuru was not hated because he's of him himself. He was hated because of the decision he made. That's why you see right now when Uhuru goes somewhere in Mount Kenya, you see him cheered. Or is he not cheered? You see him cheered everywhere. People saying about Uhuru this, tungeskiza, tungefanya. Why? Because it's not but he was unpopular. The decisions he made were unpopular. Right now, the decision Ruto made to the Mount Kenya people. Let me talk about Mount Kenya people. Let me talk about East. West. I will not talk about East. East is another game, another animal altogether. Let me talk about West. When they are talking about saying that this guy even you know one thing that they are talking about is impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. You have forgotten that Rigathi Gachagua was impeached just 1 year ago. Those people are still hurting, and they are still asking themselves why that one happened to them. And so after that decision that he made, he became very unpopular in that place. It's neither you are unpopular because of negativity. They got him unpopular because he did certain decisions. It's not that people don't like Ruto, that the Ruto the person. They hate because of the decisions he has made. Me, I don't have any grudge with William Ruto as personal, but it is the decisions that they make that make people angry. So those are the decisions. Nobody hate Uhuru right now. He left the politics scene. He's still there and people still clap for him. So I don't understand about negative popularity. Hiyo sijaisikia. Hata mimi kama ninapendwa kijijini napendwa ama nachukiwa. Is either I'm popular napendwa. Kama nachukiwa mimi si popular, watu wataki kusikia mambo yangu. Simple as that.
All right, thank you so much. Let me invite Msimamo to also give his view. Then we can see if to close down the show. We've been here for almost 3 hours.
Haya popularity na nini, mimi sina shida nayo. Ya Uhuru si ana popularity, si nini. Naangalia mbinu ya ushindi wa mtu. Hapo ndo mimi nipo. Haya mnazungumza huyu kafanya hiki, huyu hajafanya hiki. Haya hatatusaidia kwa sababu kile tunahitaji ni kwamba kama ni uchaguzi basi ufuate katiba. Fuate sheria. Umpe mwananchi aswaje amulie. So kama itakuwa pengine hapa tunakuta wengine walikuwa na kasoro na bado waliruhusiwa kupiga kuweza kuwania na ni kinyume cha sheria, hapo ndo tunakuwa na mapungufu. Unaona kwamba sheria haifuatwi kikamilifu. Unaona pili, tukiangalia haya matokeo tusidanganye hapa tukasema kwamba hawa tulikuwa na 50-50%. Tunaelewa kwamba ndio siasa ya pesa ndio hiyo, upande wa pili ndio wanatumia pesa zaidi kuliko kitu kingine, lakini hili halijaacha kumwacha mwananchi atoke katika goli yake ama mawazo yake kuweza kulifanikisha hili. Sisi bado anajua kwamba huyu jamaa azimu ndio hili tu. Unaona maraba, unaona. So kikwangu ni kwamba tuangalie hizi numbers so na hizi tofauti kidogo ambazo sasa hapa tunamenyana kwa sababu tunaona labda hawa watu walikuwa na ungwaji mkono Malava nani mbele na hapo mmesema
Hapana, hii vitu walifanya hesabu, hawangechukua mbele by all means. Basi unafikiri ingalikuwaje upande wa nani? Wangempa sifa Gachagua, na ni jambo ambalo Gachagua sasa anafaa afunge hii mlima kama yeye ndio kingpin kweli naeleweka, afunge mlima kama ambavyo Kalonzo amefunga upande wake,
Yeah.
kama vile ambavyo Matiang'i amefunga upande wake, na vile ambavyo Natembeya amefunga, anajaribu kufunga upande wake. So mlima isiwe kwamba kwa sababu Mozi wako hapo, wakina Kuria hawa walikuwa wanafuata nini katika uchaguzi? Walijuaje matokeo mapema hata kabla ya wakati wengine wao? So hawa wenye tamaa ambao ndio vikwazo, hawa ndio wakudili, kwa sababu hawa ndio wanaharibu sifa ya mlima. Ionekane labda wanaunga mkono huku na kundi linaunga mkono huku. Hapana, wale wananchi wa Mlima Kenya East na Wasiu Central wote ni sawa, kwa sababu shida zinawakumba ni sawa. So wakati ikifika wakati wa maamuzi wao, najua na imani kabisa kwamba wanafanya maamuzi yake. So tukubaliana hapa kwamba uchaguzi huu umetufunza kila ambacho kitajiri uchaguzi unakuja, kwamba namba zitapikwa kutoka mahali, furugu kidogo na matiaga hapo mchangukane, watu wafanye yao. Kwa hivyo hawaamini na kila ambacho mnakisema sisi, kwamba labda hata tukatoka mamia kwa mamia kama hili hatutalifuatilia vizuri, kura haitalindwa vizuri, hatutakuwa pia na sisi na gunzi wetu. So mimi nitazungumza pale naona kwangu, naona kwa sababu huwezi nifuata wewe, umeniwekea gunzi alafu unanilazimisha sheria mimi kuritimba.
Weka gunzi,
wacha na mimi niweke wa kwangu, tuonane hapo, kwa sababu mimi sinifanye mpumbavu kila siku. Wewe ndio unachukua pao unanipunda, unaniponda nayo, alafu kisha mimi wacha tupange hivyo kama ataona kwamba ndio sahihi. Kwa sababu haiwezekani wewe unatumia upande wako nguvu ile ambayo umepewa ama umejipa haswa, lakini kisingizio unataka mimi niende na amani, wewe unanifuata na panga. Sasa niambie, jiulize tu ile swali, hata Benson hapa nitamuuliza hilo, mama Barasuri nzuri, unaona, jiulize, mimi nakufuata na panga, wewe hauna chochote, na alafu nakwambia hapa nataka tukae sawa. Kweli hiyo kitu itakuwa sawa kweli? Utakuwa kuna usawa hapo? Mimi nakufuata na panga, wewe hauna chochote, nakwambia sasa tunataka tuwe na haki sawa. Haki sawa wakati mwenzangu unapanga, mimi sina panga. Lazima tuangalie hilo ndio kubwa, kwamba wewe mwenzangu sawa, hakuna cha popularity hapa, hii ni popularity ya kupoji. Kwa sababu kama ni mume na nusu, mtu hangetumia hela, angezungumza maneno akakubalika. Mbona hela zaidi? Alafu tuanze na hawa vibaraka hawa wa mlima hawa wanaotaka kuchafua na nani, hawa kina Kuria hawa na wengine ambao wanaongozwa na tamaa zao. Tusichukue tu wananchi wote kwamba ndo waligawana 50-50, kwa sababu alipiga kampeni swafi, huyu alitumia hela, huyu akutumia hela, still bado unarudi pale pale kwa kuchezeshwa. Na ndio anapotaka atuchezeshe na hela, mwisho wa siku afanye yake mambo yake kidogo, angalia hizo numbers zina flow pande mwingine, unashangaa zilikuwa zinaenda hivi wala ghafla zinaenda hivi. Tuliona 2022 na this time around by election pia ilikuwa hivyo, numbers zitazama hizo za Karish na ule mwingine kwa kwao. Fuatilia tu ile gap vile ilikuwa inaenda tu. Kwanza unapewa matumo, unajua huyu mtu wetu anashinda, huyu mtu wetu anashinda, mpaka mwisho pale mwisho sasa ndo utagundua kweli hakika bwana unakozaliwa baba yako hakuna rika lako. Utajua hapo mwisho vile mambo yatageuza na huna jinsi. So lazima tuangalie hapa kuna pikwa haya matokeo fake yanatoka wapi, alafu tudili na hapo, na hiyo ni jukumu United Opposition kama wanataka kwenda fair na square 2027 lazima wajipange kwa hilo. Alafu hii maswala hii nazungumzia hii tena naregea tena haswa hii kwamba unanipangia jamaa yangu kwa sababu una power. Hata mimi wacha nitengeze power yangu. At least hata kama sina panga lakini na kigongo, tutashtuana hapa, at least tutajua kwamba hapa nini, kila mtu alinde cha kwake. Asante.
Alright,
Mzalendo, brother Benson, wacha sasa nimalizie sasa. Dan pale alikuwa amebakia, nimmalizie. Unajua nimalizia kila kitu nikisemaga yangu ya mwisho. Nimesoma hapa, hata sikuwa nimesoma, amefanya niende nikaangalie the term negative popularity. Negative popularity is not a form physiological term, but is generally used. It refers to a person being unpopular or actively disliked or ignored by others. It is the opposite of being well liked. Hiyo ndio utamaliza nayo. Nimemjibu kile nilikuwa. Huwezi kuwa na negative popularity kama upendo, either you are unpopular ujulikane. Lakini kama unapendo you are popular. So nitamalizia tu hiyo mambo hapo na niseme hii I think we are in our social media platforms na tunaona kile kinaendelea na mbele. I think even them I don't know watu wa kutoka Embu na the parts of Kikuyu land, they have really made this guy suffer. Wacha tuache kwanza wapumue kidogo. They have said na watanunua mpaka urogi yao na makaa. So we need to give them a break kidogo. They decided to vote for the people they voted. Even if it was stolen ama kile kilifanyika. Unajua hata kama tunasema kiliibiwa ama kilifanywa nini, hao watu wangekuwa nafaa kufikisha hiyo number of votes. They were supposed to have locked it down. Na kama Wamuthende haikuwa tu na kura ngiri mbili peke yake. They were supposed to lock it down. So yes, we know what happened. The government machinery was used.
Haitawezekana kaka, haitawezekana hiyo, haitawezekana. Hata kama lingekuwa na hizo kura nini, wewe ungejuaje kama zitakuwa zina flow mahali? Unajua vile tu kwamba labda tudanganywe hapo kwamba huu pia alikuwa na uungwaji mkono mwingi, kwamba labda wangejitokeza hawa wengi zaidi. Asilimia hata si niekeje, yani kwamba watu wangetoka kwa wingi dhidi ya huyu watu wa Karish wangetoka kwa wingi dhidi ya huyu wa Matako, wa Madhenge. Unaona?
Ndio mimi nasema tu mzalendo anajua tu point ya mwisho. Kila mtu akuwe na panga yake, mtu ajitayarishe kwa sababu sasa kama unapangiwa jipangie hata wewe. Hivyo ndivyo utamaliza. Asante sana.
Lazima hapo tuendene hapo jamangu, tumalizana hapo mahali kama Mbwai, kama noma Tambileche rafiki yangu upande huku wa pili. Unaona? Kama noma kwa sababu hiyo ndio kitu ambacho anatuweza napo. Hata tufanye nini, akifanya manipulation, akiongeza namba zake, akifanya lolote lile, tutamfanya nini? Na tuwezi songea hapo mahali. Jaribu kusongea simu yako, tunataka upige ushahidi kama hautakula tear gas, utapakaa hapo. Wewe jiulize Benson. Yaani jiulize tu kwamba mimi nimepigiwa tear gas ya kutosha mahali siwezi, na unaelewa tear gas ikipigwa ikichemka, huwezi ona hata upande mwingine wa pili. Unajua ni nini kinaendelea upande wa pili huko? Ukija ukisimama sasa unakumbuka shuka ni saa 12, unakuta majibu yalikuwa hivi, mbona hafla yamechange namna hii? Hapa ndio kwenye ugonjwa. Lazima tuzungumze ukweli hapa, tusibembelezane kama tunalitakia hili taifa mema, la sivyo kama tutawapisha na kuonyeshana umaarufu nani bingwa. Sasa wacha tungoje 2027, lakini tutegemee kwamba tulivyokaa chini ya mnazi basi hapo tunangojea maembe. Uongo. Lazima tuende kwa shina la mwembe na tusubiri maembe hapo hapo. Maana hapa tulipo sasa tuko kwa shina la mnazi alafu tunategemea maembe. Asante.
Asante sana.
Hata Jomo alisema kama ni mbaya ni mbaya. Kama ni mwanga tunamwanga.
Naomba baba zangu kwanza niweke sawa na alafu nianzishe show mapema, tuchemke saa 12 leo.
Okay, alafu hebu angalia simu yako, nimekutumia message nyingine hapa alafu nijibu.
Asante, wacha niangalie kaka.
Okay, asante sana. Joseph, let me take this opportunity to thank you for joining the show, and everybody on the comment section. Father Dan, thank you so much. I have Gitonga is here with me. I saw also Ashley, thank you so much for joining. Who else? Gitonga, Father Dan, I've seen you. Ashley, okay, and everyone who was watching us, thank you so much. I know it has been 3 good hours that we've been here in the show. Joseph ameleta moto, amekataa na tumeenda nayo, lakini ni mzuri, saa zingine huwa inakuwa inachangamka hivyo. Mzalendo pia alikuwepo na yeye akatoka. Kwa hayo machache mimi nawashukuru wote. Kesho pia asubuhi, leo Sunday asubuhi tutakuwepo hapa. Nadhani Joseph utakuwa na nafasi.
Yeah, I'll be there, but let me thank all the viewers. I did not thank them today, Brother Benson. Let me take only a few seconds to thank everybody who comes here. I like the input of everybody. Unajua, even these by-elections, Brother Benson, they have really taught everybody a lesson. Kila mtu anasoma. There's nobody who is not learning something or two. And I thank also the people who come here to give us their input. It always strengthen us and bolden us. But mimi nilikuambia ukweli, Brother Benson, mimi mambo ya wanasiasa kula pesa yao nilikataa. After ule mzee apate stroke, nilisema mimi mambo ya pesa ya mwanasiasa sitakula juu hii pesa inatoka wapi brother Benson? Na labda jioni labda huyo jamaa analia semaga mlimnyima nini, ukiakilia hiyo machozi na wewe inafanya mambo yako isiende vizuri. So I think that is that. I want to thank everybody. Akina Gypsy Con, good year. Father Dan has been there. I've seen Ashley. I've seen Laban has been there with us. The guy of Tutam. I've seen Getonga. Today I've seen quite a couple of people coming here, and I want to appreciate them that they always come. I also saw Brenda Obedi, and thank you so much for always being with us here. Thank you, Brother Benson. I hope you have a nice time, and maybe tomorrow we'll meet in the morning. I'll be there.
All right, thank you so much, and may God bless you all. May God bless our brother Msimamo and everybody who was with us in this show. If you're new in this channel, this is Brother Benson Media. You can always subscribe. So when we are having this kind of communication, the YouTube will notify you and you'll be part of us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you all, and God bless you all. See you tomorrow. Father Dan, ukienda kanisa usisahau kutuombea. Wewe usijiombe. Make sure umetuombea, na tukutane kesho hapa asubuhi. Asanteni sana.